Chapter 1591. On the other side, Lan Luo returned to Auntie Bai's side with an unsightly expression. Then, she handed over the money from Xiao Chen's auction. 80,000 medial-grade spirit jades. This discount is really impressive. Why did you take a liking to him? Auntie Bai teased as she looked at Lan Luo. However, Lan Luo's expression seemed somewhat strange. Lan Luo shook her head and said, Auntie Bai, don't laugh at me. However, the owner of VIP room 3 seemed to have figured out my identity. That can't be. How can anyone figure it out in this place? However, even if it is, it does not matter. After your experiential training ends next month, you will return to the headquarters. After the experiential training ends, returning to the headquarters? A strange light flashed in Lan Luo's eyes. The headquarters was a complicated and heavy place. To hide from some things, she had to come to this desolate Purple Sun region. However, no matter how much she hid, from the moment she was born, it was destined that some things could not be changed. The blood that flowed in her body would not change. Auntie Bai, send people to protect those people in secret. I believe that the Ice Snow Sword and Yen Xian will definitely make a move on him, Lan Luo said softly after collecting her thoughts. Although Xiao Chen rejected her kind intentions and did not admit that he had helped her before, he still had to repay this favor. Ha! This is really rare. This is the first time I've seen you take the initiative to plead on someone's behalf. Lan Luo argued, this is not considered pleading. Protecting the guests' safety has always been the aim of our Purple Cloud Pavilion. That is within the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Outside the Purple Cloud Pavilion, no one can do anything about it. This is the rule of Purple Sun City. However, Auntie Bai did not agree to Lan Luo's request. She said softly, you should know that Purple Sun City has existed for thousands of years. Many of its rules have been imperceptibly influenced. Although there are no explicit rules, everyone understands them. Otherwise, there will be chaos. When Lan Luo heard this, she felt slightly stunned. Then, she understood. This Purple Sun City was already at the edge of the territory of the noble clans. Those rank 2 sects knew the existence behind the Purple Cloud Pavilion and did not dare to mess around with the Purple Cloud Pavilion. However, the Purple Cloud Pavilion was doing business, after all. They could not openly offend those factions. Unless absolutely necessary, they would not fall out with them. I understand. Auntie Bai nodded and said, it's good that you understand. To the headquarters, Purple Sun City is more of a longing for tradition. After Auntie Bai left, a strange light flashed in Lan Luo's eyes. She said softly, Dark Moon, you should understand what I mean. Go. In the darkness, there was no response from anyone. Only upon closer inspection would one discover that there seemed to be one less shadow in the room. Since he could not use the Purple Cloud Pavilion's strength, he could only use his personal guards. Xiao Chen led Fei and the others out of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. A few figures flashed continuously, following closely behind him. However, Xiao Chen didn't seem to notice. He only sneered in his heart. His footsteps were neither fast nor slow. Xiao Chen finally exited the steps of the Purple Cloud Pavilion and arrived on the streets of Purple Sun City, heading for the Pirate Alliance. Brother Xiao Chen, why the need to leave so quickly? The auction is very awe-inspiring. After you come out, are you going to run away with your tail between your legs? A voice rang out, and a cold intent assaulted Xiao Chen, startling the people behind Xiao Chen. There's no need to bother with them. Continue walking, Xiao Chen said indifferently. He did not stop walking, continuing to walk unhurriedly. Whoosh! 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 However, just at this moment, 2 figures appeared from behind. The Ice Snow Sword held his sword and smiled faintly. Brother Xiao, why are you in such a rush to leave? Yen Xian looked at Xiao Chen and said softly, I overestimated you. I thought you had some magic skill. It turns out that you are just running away. Do you think you can leave? In the distance, many cultivators coming out of the Purple Cloud Pavilion immediately noticed the situation here. They immediately felt excited. Indeed, how could the Ice Snow Sword and Yan Xian possibly let Xiao Chen off? However, they did not know why the wind-chasing sect's new talent, Feng Buyu, did not show up. The Purple Cloud Pavilion's annual auction already brought 2 new talents, but Feng Buyu did not show up. Otherwise, this place would be even more bustling. Yan Xian looked at the Ice Snow Sword and smiled. Brother Luo, it seems like no one in this vast Purple Sun region can make us attack at the same time. The Ice Snow Sword said softly, there will always be some people in this world. Before they learn a lesson, they will always think that they are infallible. Earlier in Idle Cloud Restaurant, the Ice Snow Sword, Luo Feng, already disliked Xiao Chen's group. However, Luo Feng felt that there was no need to start a fight over one sentence. Now, it looked like these people were really shameless. Do they think that they can do whatever they want in Purple Sun City just because they have a minor primal core venerate? However, speaking of which, that girl following behind him is rather nice to look at. Yan Xian glanced at Fei and a look of lust flashed in his eyes. It looked like he was the one who incited that disciple to molest Fei earlier. As the two spoke, they treated Xiao Chen's group like air. This made the people who came out of the Purple Cloud Pavilion in the distance shake their heads. These two were toying with Xiao Chen like that. These two did not care about him at all. Clearly, they were extremely confident in their own strength. They only felt pity for Xiao Chen. He really should not have offended these two. The Burning Moon sect and the Ice Snow Mountain Manor were both rank 2 sects of the Purple Sun region. Furthermore, these two were the peak new talents of their sections. How could they be so easily offended? However, no one noticed that rage had appeared in Xiao Chen's eyes at some point in time. Although Xiao Chen had killed people and gotten angry since he stepped into Purple Cloud City, he had never truly gotten angry. Xiao Chen said indifferently, I'll leave the white-clad one to you. I know that you have been wanting to make a move for a long time. Ha ha ha. I was waiting for you to say that. Xiao Sua, who was carrying the pirate flag, laughed loudly. His figure flickered, looking like a black tornado. Dust flew up from the ground. Then, under Xiao Sua's rage, it turned into powder. Xiao Sua used the scarlet pirate flag as a saber and swung it down. The tattered flag fluttered and gave off a low hum. Eventually, it buzzed and trembled. Unexpectedly, this tattered flag gave off a piercing, berserk whistling sound. The surrounding crowd exclaimed. Unexpectedly, the first to make a move was Xiao Chen's side. The Ice Snow Sword, Luo Feng, grasped his sword hilt with his right hand and said softly, it looks like this sword is going to drink the blood of a venerate again. When Xiao Chen drew his sword, a cold light spread out. Snow drifted down, and the entire space gave off a chill. It was so cold that it made everyone flustered. However, what was even more horrifying was the condensed sword light. It was so sharp that no one dared to look at it directly. The instant Luo Feng made his move, the Burning Moon sect's Yan Xian moved as well. Yan Xian and Luo Feng were like two extremes. Yan Xian's figure moved like a volcano erupting. His aura was incredibly berserk, and a burning bright moon soared up behind him. As the bright moon burned, its light encased Yan Xian's body. Then, Yan Xian gathered this energy into his fist. Immediately, Yan Xian's fist light burned with a resplendent light, no weaker than Luo Feng's sword light. How strong! Startled exclamations came from the crowd. Yan Xian and Luo Feng truly lived up to being the 3 strongest new talents of the Purple Sun region. If Yan Xian's punch landed, no one doubted that it could completely crush Xiao Chen. After all, Xiao Chen was a nobody. Furthermore, he was only a Yin Essence stage cultivator. How could he block the half-step primal core realm Yan Xian? Many people thought that this punch would instantly kill Xiao Chen. As for Xiao Sua on the other side, no one thought highly of him either. However, he was an early-stage minor primal core cultivator, after all. He would not die so quickly. Senior brother, crush him with one punch. The Burning Moon sect disciples shouted incredibly loudly. They were extremely confident in Yen Xin and the others, their voices filled with pride. Die. As the fist approached, Yen Xin spat out a clear word. A berserk, scorching aura seemed like it wanted to burn Xiao Chen. With just you. You can't do that. Xiao Chen smiled coldly and threw a palm strike. Boom. A palm wind blew, and a bright moon also rose from behind Xiao Chen. That bright moon also burned. When the fist and palm met, neither moved back. The Burning Moon sect's Yen Xin looked at the other party in confusion, his face filled with horror. The vital qi and saber energy contained in Xiao Chen's palm strike, as well as the boundless veritable essence energy, made Yen Xin feel like he was facing a surging sea. Vast and profound. The crowd of onlookers was even more shocked. This scene was really out of their expectations. To think that they were evenly matched. Xiao Chen managed to block this punch. However, the even more shocking thing was yet to come. The bright moon behind Xiao Chen suddenly burned even more intensely. The moon was like fire, illuminating the sky for 5 kilometers around. Blood filled the sky. That was Xiao Chen's hot-bloodedness burning fiercely. This scene was very shocking. Yen Xin vomited a mouthful of blood as he went flying back and landed on the ground. The burning bright moon above Yen Xin's head shattered. He vomited another mouthful of blood, his complexion pale and devoid of color. Genius? You are merely a so-so. Xiao Chen waved his hand, and the bright moon vanished. The blood scattered, leaving only a group of stunned Purple Sun City cultivators in the strong wind. Chapter 1592. Everyone was stunned. They didn't expect such an ending. Originally, they were expecting Xiao Chen to explode with a single punch. Who knew that Xiao Chen would defeat Yen Xin with a single palm strike? However, this solution did not surprise Xiao Chen at all. The two of them were not opponents on the same level at all. Unless the other party really broke through to the primal core realm, he would not be able to put pressure on Xiao Chen. Otherwise, with the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy that Xiao Chen refined, his current veritable essence energy could easily withstand the other party's half-step primal core veritable essence energy. This was the difference in foundation, and it was not something that could be made up for by one or two small realms. Without the advantage of cultivation realm, it would be impossible for Xiao Chen to defeat Xiao Chen, whose will, mental state, strength, and Taoist rhyme were superior to his. And Yu, who was hiding in the shadows, had a surprised look on her face. She muttered to herself, who is the person that Miss wants to protect? The ice snow sword, Luo Feng, who was fighting Xiao Sua, was stunned as well. He had not expected Xiao Chen to defeat Yen Xin so quickly, far surpassing his expectations. Damn it, how could it be like this? Yen Xin, that trash. For a moment, he was under immense pressure. The fight with Xiao Sua was unexpectedly difficult. Xiao Sua was not an ordinary minor primal core venerate. Not only did he have rich combat experience, but his fighting style was also extremely valiant. Luo Feng's killing chi was startling. He believed that he had killed enough people, but the killing chi he accumulated was not enough before Xiao Sua. Xiao Sua was, after all, the leader of the pirates. He was a vicious person who kept his head low all year round. The Ice Peak Sword, Luo Feng, was gravely mistaken from the start when he treated Xiao Chen as an ordinary early-stage minor primal core cultivator. Now, there was an additional Xiao Chen eyeing him from the side. Even if Xiao Chen did not make a move, he would still be under great pressure. Of the 36 stratagems, retreat is the best. The green robes should not be allowed to continue like this. In the future, there would always be a chance to get back at them. If they were to lose face like Yen Xin, then they would truly be finished. Thinking about this, Luo Feng's eyes flashed fiercely, and 60% of his sword's soul condensed at the tip of his sword. The sword was unsheathed, the wind howled, and the snow and ice swept away. With a loud shout, he unleashed his peak sword strike. He wanted to advance as a way to retreat, seeking a dignified way to leave. Fight to the death with me? I'm not afraid of you. Who would have thought that Xiao Sua, who was truly enraged, would not be afraid in the slightest under his fierce sword strike. With the pirate flag in hand, he advanced instead of retreating. His aura merged with the heavens and the earth. As he leaped, it was as if the heavens and the earth were moving with him. The integration of heaven and earth was a technique that only supremacies could comprehend. As Xiao Sua's ferocious attack erupted, a mysterious scarlet light flashed on the tip of the pirate flag. Pu Ci. Luo Feng's perfect sword move suddenly had some openings. Xiao Chen raised his eyebrows. This flaw was a little strange. The so-called sword momentum and saber momentum referred to the complete momentum formed when the weapons were unleashed. From the looks of it, the edge of the sword or the edge of the blade only had one direction. It seemed like it could be broken from any other direction, but in reality, that was impossible unless there was a flaw in the sure. Otherwise, no matter how one changed, a bladesman or a swordsman could easily suppress one. The tip of the saber and the tip of the sword were just one point of attack. However, a flaw suddenly appeared in Luo Feng's sword move, surprising Xiao Chen. When the two clashed, they should have been equal. Given this, Luo Feng would suffer greatly. Indeed, it was as Xiao Chen expected. Xiao Suo ruthlessly grasped this opportunity. With a sinister smile, the pirate flag cut through Luo Feng's chest like a hot knife through butter. Boom! The pirate flag pinned Luo Feng to the ground. Pu Ci. Blood continuously leaked out of Luo Feng's mouth. He revealed a flustered and confused expression. How can it be like this? In Idle Cloud Restaurant, this old man showed you some respect. Don't think that I'm easy to bully. What did you say? I cannot casually discuss your Ice Peak sword title. This old man wants to say that you are trash. Clearly, the pirate leader had a bellyful of anger. Back then, he had just casually said a few words. However, this fellow had humiliated Xiao Sua in front of everyone, forcing him to drink a cup of wine. Since when had a junior humiliated Xiao Sua like this? The crowd was stunned. Unexpectedly, 2 of the 3 strongest new talents of the Purple Sun region were defeated so quickly. Xiao Chen, let me tell you this. This matter will not end here. The Burning Moon sect and the Ice Snow Mountain Manor are much more horrifying than you imagine. You absolutely will not be able to leave Purple Sun City. Luo Feng, who was pinned to the ground by the pirate flag, felt very sullen. This was the first time he had been humiliated like this since he made his debut. I will definitely return today's humiliation 100-fold. 100-fold? When Xiao Chen heard that, he was stunned for a moment. The human heart was truly hard to fathom. He narrowed his eyes and looked at the ice snow sword Luo Feng. You only sought your own humiliation. You can't blame others. Have you ever wondered why I did not slap you when I could have easily slapped you back in Idle Cloud Restaurant? It's not that I'm afraid of you or the Ice Snow Mountain Manor behind you. It's just that there is no need. However, after entering the Purple Cloud Pavilion, everyone has the right to auction off what they like. I did not do anything wrong. You are the one who forced me. Luo Feng did not listen to anything Xiao Chen said. He rudely interrupted and pointed at Xiao Chen, saying, "Shut up, you trash. I am the strongest new talent of the Ice Snow Mountain Manor. I am the Ice Snow Sword Luo Feng. How can you compare to me? You trash, don't think that you are really incredible just because you trampled on me. I'll tell you this, don't even think about it. Sorry, you are mistaken. I really never thought of it that way." Bang! Without any warning, Xiao Chen suddenly flicked his finger, and a sharp saber chi shot out. The ice snow sword Luo Feng's head flew off, drifting in the air. Luo Feng died with his eyes wide open. This was a result that he had not expected. Xiao Chen glanced back and saw Yan Xian lying on the ground. When Xiao Chen's gaze landed on him, Yan Xian felt an indescribable fear spread in his heart. Yan Xian circulated all his vital qi and crawled on the ground with great difficulty, all so that he could distance himself from Xiao Chen, this demon. Yan Xian was in a sorry state, crawling away in fright. There was no trace of his earlier arrogance or despotism. With just one look, Yan Xian was so frightened that he crawled on the ground. The people watching this scene were all stunned. They were speechless for a long time, completely flabbergasted. The shock of this scene was simply too great. Let's go. Xiao Chen shook his head and did not make a move on Yan Xian. This person was already crippled. The crowd looked at the departing white figure, at the headless Luo Feng on the ground, and at the crawling Yan Xian. Such a result was simply unacceptable. Two new talents had tried to kill Xiao Chen in a grand manner. However, one died, and the other lost all his dignity. White-robed Xiao Chen. This person is now famous in Purple Sun City. After this battle, the Purple Sun region has only one new talent left, Feng Buyu. I wonder where he came from. His aura, mental state, and strength all seem to surpass the Purple Sun region's 3 new talents. Just watch. This matter will not end so easily. The experts of the Burning Moon sect and the Ice Snow Mountain Manor will deal with this soon. Only after Xiao Chen was far away did the crowd burst into an uproar, turning incredibly noisy. At this moment, the last new talent that many people talked about, Feng Buyu, led the sect elders and disciples outside Purple Sun City, waiting for a certain person. The wind-chasing pavilion's group of people, led by Feng Buyu, waited quietly amid the surging yellow sand. Feng Buyu did not appear at the Purple Cloud Pavilion's auction, but he went outside Purple Sun City. Everyone found Feng Buyu's actions strange. Gallop! Gallop! Suddenly, the sound of hooves rang out. An old man on a horse appeared in Feng Buyu's vision. When the owner of the horse saw the crowd in the distance, he quickly retreated in fright. Senior brother, the target has appeared. Feng Buyu revealed a sinister smile as he said indifferently, Martial uncle, I'll leave it to you. Don't worry. He won't be able to run. The one who replied was actually a major primal core elder. Then, his figure flashed, vanishing from everyone's sight. When this person reappeared, he was carrying a yellow-clad man and tossing him to the ground. The yellow-clad man was in incredible pain. Clearly, he had been tortured before he came. When this yellow-clad man recognized Feng Buyu, it was like he saw his savior. Young Master Feng, I have no grudge with the wind-chasing pavilion. Why did you capture me? Feng Buyu said sullenly, cut the crap. Let me ask you, where is the pirate flag that you obtained from the Grave Sea now? Ah! Upon hearing that, the yellow-clad man's face filled with panic. What pirate flag? I don't know. I don't know anything. Beat him up ruthlessly. Beat him until he confesses everything. Feng Buyu instructed coldly, not bothering to speak nonsense. Chapter 1593. Let's go. I'll bring you to my friend to sell off the goods that Big Brother wants to sell. As the captain token continued to rise in rank, the privileges gained by the Pirate Alliance would increase. The periphery of the silhouette looked like a city wall. The black-clad old man laughed dryly. Just as he was about to speak to Xiao Chen, his expression suddenly changed. At the mention of the pirate hall, Xiao Suo felt deep veneration and some pride. The entire west side of the city was in a frenzy. Everyone was shouting at the top of their lungs, the golden setting sun. Golden setting sun. Xiao Chen reminded the others. Only then did Xiao Suo, Fei and Luo Nan reluctantly shift their gazes away from that 3-star pirate ship. Xiao Suo's incredibly rough and calloused hands slowly rubbed the rusted flagpole. Xiao Chen nodded and said calmly, Xiao Chen greets Senior Gui. Xiao Suo smiled. Unexpectedly, he did not argue. When someone asked about the pirates, Xiao Suo was happy to answer. He smiled and said, naturally, it is difficult. There are only 109-star pirate captains in the entire Great Thousand Realms. As for pirate kings, there are only 7. From 1 star to 9 star, the difficulty of the subsequent tests increases with every increase in star. Words flickering with golden light were carved on the palace walls. After passing through the palace walls, there was a row of statues of famous pirate kings in history. This was the first time Xiao Chen, Fei and the others entered, so they felt somewhat shocked. Old Gui, cut the crap. Hurry up. My big brother wants to sell off some goods. Just help me take a look and give me a good price, Xiao Sua said somewhat impatiently. Rather than calling this a pirate hall, it would be more accurate to call it a pirate city made up of countless palaces. An unremarkable tattered pattern appeared at the end of the flagpole. Its position was rather special. Piracy itself was not a very reputable occupation. The black-clad old man looked at Xiao Sua and said, "Show me that pirate flag you are carrying." "Wang Sua, I heard you changed your name." When the black-clad old man saw Xiao Sua, he immediately teased him rudely. "Xiao Sua, what grade is your pirate ship?" No matter where one went in the bustling Purple Sun City, one could feel a strong commercial atmosphere. Auction pavilions, medicine pavilions, profound weapon pavilions, and markets could be seen everywhere. Their voices boiled like a tsunami, each wave louder than the last. This Xiao Sua seemed to be a pirate with a story. As the distance between them drew closer, Xiao Sua said embarrassedly, "Old fogey, you are really well informed." Before Xiao Sua could reply, the black-clothed old man stepped forward and directly snatched it away. Just the pirate ships that they built were a secret that many large sects could not grasp even to this day. One's martial prowess is the foundation. After that, the distance traveled and the completion of the Pirate Alliance's missions will add points. Only the west side of the city presented a completely different appearance. It was as if they had walked into another city. I remember hearing about the Golden Setting Sun pirate group when I was young. Luo Nan said somewhat uncertainly. Upon hearing this, Xiao Sua said somewhat embarrassedly, "Pirate ships are divided into 9 stars. Above the 9 stars are kings, and above kings are legends. That broken ship of mine is not good enough, it is not even 1 star. Golden Setting Sun. Only by becoming legends would their statues be erected in every pirate alliance. How many stars are you?" As the group spoke, a shadow suddenly shrouded them. When they looked up, they discovered an incredibly tyrannical huge pirate ship slowly descending from the sky. Me? I had a chance to become a 3-star pirate ship in the past. However, there is no need to mention the past. Now, I am not good enough. That was the 3-star pirate ship, the Golden Setting Sunday. It stood out among the group of 1-star and 2-star pirate ships, like a king, receiving the treatment of the stars. "TSK, you must be bragging." All the pirates cheered. Only Xiao Sua showed a somewhat complicated expression as he said softly, "It came from the Purple Sun region. It is also the only 3-star pirate group in the Purple Sun region. It is the pride of all the Purple Sun region's pirates." Xiao Sua's voice sounded somewhat dispirited. As he carried the tattered pirate flag, he appeared somewhat miserable. He said weakly, "Indeed. I can only brag. I am just a mediocre pirate." The Pirate Alliance of Purple Sun City was located in the west of the city, in a desolate and vast lake in the inner city. It looked like aside from being strong, this Golden Setting Sun pirate group should have some special history. Otherwise, it would not receive such treatment. Some of the rust on the pirate flag peeled off, and the pole of the pirate flag gave off a faint scarlet light. Xiao Sua explained excitedly as he carried the pirate flag. Along the way, Xiao Chen did not say anything. However, he saw everything. The helpless expression on Xiao Sua's face quickly disappeared. Then, he smiled and led the way. Overall, it looked like a palace but also a huge independent castle. The procedures for handing over the captain's medallion was not complicated. In the palace that specialized in such matters, Xiao Chen successfully obtained his own captain's medallion. "Let's go. Just take a look at someone else's honor. I still have to go to the pirate hall to sell some things." The handover procedures need to be done quickly as well. Soon, the strange feeling vanished. What appeared before them was a world of connected palaces. The vast lake, which was originally filled with pirate ships, suddenly parted, revealing an empty lake. It was indeed very old. It was a somewhat sloppy, black-clad old man with wrinkles all over his face and an ancient expression. "Is it difficult?" Feyre asked after seeing the magnificent scene before her. She seemed to be very interested in pirates. "I told you to take it, so take it. Be quick." The scene was very spectacular. If one did not know what was going on, one would think that this was a port. When Xiaoqin heard that, he felt somewhat stunned. Why? There was a blue clump of light at the shore of the lake, giving off a watery glow. Feyre asked interestedly, "How do I raise my rank as a captain?" At every moment, there were pirate ships taking off and landing. The place was very busy. Simply put, I have no money. Also, my rank is not high enough. Any pirate can freely purchase a mediocre pirate ship, but a one-star pirate ship requires the identity of a one-star captain. On the bow of the ship was a golden pirate flag. The flag was painted with a golden setting sun, and below the setting sun were embroidered 3 resplendent golden stars. After looking for a while, Xiaoqin and the others passed through the blue water screen. Everyone had a strange feeling, like the world was spinning. After passing through the streets of the western part of the city, a vast lake appeared before the group. Many pirate ships filled the lake. That is easy to deal with. I have some old friends in Purple Sun City's Pirate Hall. Come, big brother, I'll bring you there. That is the Pirate Hall, the core of the Pirate Alliance. Even the Cloud Sea realm cannot break into that place. It is absolutely secure. You are overthinking. When those bastards of yours came to repair my ship, they told me about it. This should be the new captain of the Black Scimitar, right? The blue clump of light grew larger and clearer. Indeed, it was the silhouette of a palace. Suddenly, Xiaoqin raised his eyebrows in shock. The flagpole actually slowly turned bright. Shah! Shah! Xiao Sua was very familiar with this. He was a pirate leader in the first place. He had also bought his new pirate ship from the Pirate Alliance. When Xiaoqin looked around, he felt shocked. He saw several pirate ships that were unbelievably strong. Xiao Sua's pirate ship was extremely inconspicuous among the numerous pirate ships. After about 7 minutes, Xiaoqin met with Xiao Sua's old friend in the underground palace. The black-clad old man said unhurriedly as he looked at Xiaoqin. From today onwards, Xiaoqin was a legitimate pirate. Compared to the Alchemist Guild and the Wanxiang Pagoda, the Pirate Alliance was somewhat special. While it looked loose, in reality, it had a clear division of labor and many different organizations. Feyre looked at the 3-star pirate group with a fervent gaze, not noticing Xiao Sua's strange expression. She smiled and said, "I knew that you were bragging. Look at how incredible the 3-star pirate group is. The entire city is cheering for it." The black-clad old man's expression changed drastically. He exclaimed in horror, "The Scarlet Blood War Banner. The legendary Scarlet Blood Pirate King's Scarlet Blood War Banner." The Pirate Alliance's full name was the Great Thousand Realms Pirate Professional Alliance. This was a special alliance that treated piracy as a profession. The Pirate Alliance had the largest underground market in Purple Sun City. It was the fastest and most convenient place to sell some illegal goods. "What are you looking at?" "This is my treasure." "It is not for sale," Xiao Sua said anxiously. As Xiaoqin held the pirate token, he entered deep thought. To him, this might be a good card to play. The pirates everywhere stopped what they were doing and ran to the shore to cheer. The Great Thousand Realms Pirate Alliance. "Big brother, you have accepted my pirate ship. You need to go to the Pirate Hall to register it and formally obtain an identity medallion." Chapter 1594. The Scarlet Blood Pirate King. Upon hearing the black-clad old man say this name, Xiao Sua could no longer remain calm. Old Gui, don't lie to me. Even the appraisers of the Purple Cloud Pavilion could not appraise it, and you know it just by touching it. The black-clad old man looked at Xiao Sua with disdain. Everyone has their own specialties. How many years have I been in the Pirate Alliance? How many times have I gone to the sea? Those appraisers do not even know how many pirate kings the Pirate Alliance has produced. How can they compare to me? However, they must have noticed the extraordinariness of this pirate flag. It's just that they could not appraise it. Am I right? Seeing Xiao Sua's shocked expression, Old Gui clicked his tongue and said, I know the answer just by looking at your expression. However, this thing is too troublesome. I suggest you hand it over to the Pirate Alliance. That way, you can directly rise to a 3-star captain. However, you will have to choose how to do it. Xiao Sua showed a complicated expression in his heart. He looked at Xiao Qin and said, Big brother, you make the decision. After all, you are the one who paid for this pirate flag. When Xiao Qin heard that, he felt confused. He waved his hand and said, Wait a moment. Tell me what's going on first. The black-clad old man looked at Xiao Qin and asked, What's going on? Did you see those statues before you entered the Pirate Alliance? I saw them. Xiao Sua told me that one is qualified to have a statue erected in front of the Pirate Alliance only by becoming a legend among pirate kings. Old Gui nodded and said, That's right. However, outsiders do not know how difficult it is. To ordinary pirates, the identity of a pirate king is already a legendary character. However, every pirate king's lifelong goal is to have their own statue erected in front of the Pirate Alliance after they die, for later generations to worship. However, just becoming a pirate king is not enough. One needs to be a legend among legends to have the qualifications. The Pirate Alliance was established not long after the martial epoch began. However, there are less than 100 legendary pirate kings. Since the birth of the martial epoch, there had been less than 100 legendary pirate kings. This was really difficult. Xiao Qin entered deep thought. Then, he reacted and said, The Scarlet Blood Pirate King is one of them? Yes, he's the one holding the blood-colored war flag in the statue. Now you know how high his position is in the hearts of the pirates. And the flag that made him famous has actually reappeared in the world. It goes without saying how valuable it is. Xiao Sua interrupted, Most importantly, every legendary pirate king would bury their treasures in the depths of the sea after their death. Having the Scarlet Blood War banner is equivalent to having the possibility of inheriting the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasures. This is also why Old Gui suggested that I hand it over to the Pirate Alliance. This is because it is too valuable. If news of it leaked out, it would immediately startle the entire Purple Sun region. That's not right, the entire Grave Sea cluster would be shaken. When Xiao Qin heard that, he had to be cautious. On the other side, Luo Nan and Fei Er were somewhat startled. Xiao Sua smiled foolishly and said, What a surprise. I didn't expect my eyes to be so sharp. It's the legendary Pirate King's war flag. The Scarlet Blood Pirate King is the pirate I admire the most. Rumor has it that he has cleared all 7 forbidden starry seas without exception. There is no place in the boundless starry heavens that his Scarlet Blood pirate group cannot reach. I caught a legend. The sloppy, black-clad Old Gui smiled coldly and said, Stop dreaming. Think about how to protect yourself first. I don't believe that there is an impenetrable wall in this world. Xiao Sua felt like a bucket of cold water had been poured over him, chilling his heart. Damn it. What should I do? Normally, if I could become a 3-star pirate, I would smile even in my dreams. However, I can only become a 3-star captain while holding the Scarlet Blood War banner. I really can't accept this. Xiao Qin, who was standing at the side, appeared rather calm. After all, this Scarlet Blood War banner was just a tattered banner right now. Let me take a look at the war banner. When Xiao Qin received the war banner from Old Gui's hands, his first reaction was that it was heavy, far heavier than he had imagined. Following that, a boundlessly ancient aura spread from his palm to his entire body. It was like scenes of the Scarlet Blood Pirate King from a distant era appearing in Xiao Chen's mind. An intense battle hunger spread throughout his entire body. His blood surged endlessly. Xiao Chen entered deep thought. No wonder Xiao Sua held the upper hand in his battle with the ice snow sword, easily defeating him. It looked like this was closely related to the war banner. This was truly a good treasure. If this war flag was repaired, just how powerful would it be as a weapon? Big brother, what do you think? Even now, Xiao Sua was still somewhat nervous and excited. When he spoke, he could not speak fluently. Xiao Chen handed the war banner to Xiao Sua. Then, he turned calmly to the black-clad old man and asked, Senior Gui, how confident are you of repairing this war banner to its peak? The sloppy old man shook his head and replied, I do not have that ability. At best, I can recover 20% of its peak might. However, the greatest use of this pirate war banner is to raise the overall strength of the pirate ship. Xiao Chen smiled and said, Senior Gui is really humble. To be able to recover 20% is already very incredible. I would like to do business with Senior Gui. When Xiao Chen first saw Senior Gui, he felt that the other party was extraordinary. When the other party appraised the Scarlet Blood War banner, Xiao Chen was certain of his guess. Hee. I only do big business. Coincidentally, I want to do big business. 1 million medial grade spirit jades, is that big enough? The moment Xiao Chen said that, Senior Gui withdrew the smile on his face and slowly turned grave. His eyes released a sharp light, as though he wanted to see through Xiao Chen completely. Unfortunately, Senior Gui could only fail. His aura and gaze did not put any pressure on Xiao Chen. Senior Gui said sullenly, 1 million medial grade spirit jades. Xiao Chen, white-robed Xiao Chen, who exactly are you? At first, Senior Gui thought that the other party was just an elite disciple of a rank 3 sect. Now, it looked like it was not that simple. Suddenly, Xiao Chen released a trace of his blue dragon bloodline, which was suppressed by the Buddhist pendant. Suddenly, the great desolate divine eyes appeared. A resplendent and dazzling golden light appeared in Xiao Chen's eyes. That golden light disappeared in a flash, so fast that no one noticed it. Great desolate divine eyes. Senior Gui took a step back and looked at Xiao Chen in shock. After a long time, he said, I'll take this deal. However, just repairing the Scarlet Blood War banner does not require such a large number of medial grade spirit jades, right? Xiao Chen nodded and waved his hand. The cycle throne appeared. I still need you to help me upgrade this cycle throne. Merge the advantages of the pirate ship with my throne. Also, Xiao Sua's pirate ship needs to be modified. It needs to be at least as strong as a peak 2-star pirate ship. This throne, with a thought, the cycle throne turned into a war chariot before the black-clad old man's shocked gaze, shocking the black-clad old man. Senior Gui circled the cycle throne and stared at it. He praised, excellent. This is truly excellent. I can see the shadow of the immortal epoc's magic treasures in it. His attainments in artifact forging and formation techniques are also extremely high. This old man's eyes were indeed unique. Mo Chen had used the Book of Heavenly Works to control the refining techniques and formations. Naturally, they were extraordinary. However, Mo Chen had not considered the spatial structure and levels of the Great Thousand Realms back then. Hence, there were flaws and needed to be upgraded. Senior Gui revealed a difficult expression. He said, however, privately modifying a pirate ship is not in accordance with the rules of the Alliance. Otherwise, how could it be a big deal? Xiao Chen smiled. When Xiao Sua heard that, he felt incredibly excited. He immediately tried to undermine Senior Gui. Old Gui, don't play dumb with me. Your subordinates have done a lot of private work. Back then, you also helped me modify that pirate ship of mine. Stop acting dumb. Hearing that his pirate ship was going to be modified, Xiao Sua was naturally happy. He had thought of doing so long ago. However, he did not have any spirit jades. You bastard. Never mind, I submit to you. However, I'll say this first. Give me 1,000,000 medial-grade spirit jades first. I will not pay for it myself, nor do I have the capital to pay for it. Upgrading the throne, modifying the pirate ship, and even repairing the war banner. Why do I feel like I am at a disadvantage? Senior Gue muttered to himself as he did the math. He wondered if the 1,000,000 medial-grade spirit jades had clouded his mind. Brat, you know why I'm working with you. Great desolate divine eyes, I really underestimated you at the start. However, I'll tell you the truth. No one dares to modify a pirate ship, especially to a 2-star one. I'm only letting you take the risk on account of Wang Sua and your great desolate Ian bloodline. Senior Gui's voice projection rang out in Xiao Chen's mind. Many thanks, Senior. Hey, I don't know if I made a profit or a loss on this deal. Just take it as making a friend. Senior Gue sighed as he spoke softly. Xiao Chen smiled and said, Thank you, Senior Gue, for helping me. In that case, I'll share my thoughts on how to upgrade the throne with Senior first. Just at this moment, a group of people walked into Senior Gui's shop with heavy footsteps. The leader of this group wore gorgeous clothes, a standard captain's attire adorned with resplendent gems. This person looked very spirited and had no facial hair. He looked exceptionally spirited, exuding an extraordinary aura. When Xiao Sua turned his head and saw this person, his expression changed drastically. The hand holding the war banner trembled, and veins bulged. He did his best to suppress his rage. When the middle-aged captain saw Xiao Sua, he revealed a surprised expression. After being stunned for a while, he sized up Xiao Sua and smiled. I heard that you have been in a miserable state for the past few years. Unexpectedly, you are so miserable that you have to carry the banner for someone else. Seeing that this person had an extraordinary air, Fei walked over to old Gue and whispered, Old Master, who is this person? Bai Yan, the captain of the Golden Setting Sun Pirate Group, a 3-star captain, the Light of the Purple Sun Region's pirates. Xiao Sua, my former deputy. Old Gue muttered with a complicated expression. Fei gaped, clearly surprised. She had not expected this at all. The captain of the Golden Setting Sun Pirate Group that the entire city cheered for was actually Xiao Sua's former deputy. However, you are really ambitious. You are willing to carry the banner for someone else instead of coming to my Golden Setting Sun Pirate Group, Bai Yan said in a gentle and natural tone as he looked at Xiao Sua from top to bottom. Shameless fellow. Xiao Sua, who had been suppressing his rage, could no longer resist cursing. Then, he tossed the war banner aside and rushed forward to grab Bai Yan's collar, pulling him up. You don't deserve to wear these clothes. You don't deserve to be a captain. Even if I'm worthless and have no dignity, and end up begging for food, I'm still better than a shameless bastard like you. The expressions of the 4 people behind Bai Yan changed slightly as they unleashed killing chi. These 4 were actually late-stage minor primal core experts. All of them were veterans of hundreds of battles. With one look, it was clear that they were not weaklings. Bai Yan waved his hand and stopped the 4 behind him. He smiled faintly and said, I like to see your face filled with rage and helplessness. Boom! A strong aura burst out from Bai Yan's body, and Xiao Sua vomited a mouthful of blood as he went flying. Bai Yan tidied his clothes and said calmly, You should thank me. If my subordinates had made a move, you would have died. I will wear these clothes properly. Occasionally, I will return to Purple Sun City. I want to tell you that not only can I be a captain, but I can also do better than trash like you, going further. You. Xiao Sua vomited a mouthful of blood in anger. Rage burned in his eyes. Just as Xiao Sua was about to charge out, a hand landed on his shoulder and stopped him. Chapter 1595. Naturally, the person who stretched out his hand was Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen possessed strong vital qi, at least 2 cauldron force. When he pressed down, he was like a mountain pressing down on Xiao Sua. Then, he stepped forward and picked up the tattered scarlet blood war banner. You are Wang Sua's new captain. Not bad. Although you are young, you have an extraordinary air. I am Bai Yan. I have a lot of friends in the Grave Sea cluster. Little friend, will you tell me your great name? Bai Yan's status and cultivation were higher than Xiao Chen's, so he felt very confident before Xiao Chen. Bai Yan asked Xiao Chen with the air of someone in a superior position. Xiao Chen acted like he did not hear anything. He looked at Senior Gui and said, Senior Gui, there are too many flies here. Since you are not going to make a move, then I can only do it myself. Whoosh! Right after Bai Yan spoke, for cold-killing qi immediately came from behind him, firmly locking onto Xiao Chen. What shameless boasting! I'll smack you to death with one palm strike. Let's see who is the fly. A person came out from behind Bai Yan and sent a palm strike at Xiao Chen. That person used his palm as a saber and chopped down. The saber wind brought strong pressure. Before the palm strike arrived, cracks appeared on the ground. Xiao Chen's long hair and white robes fluttered about. Scram far away. Before Xiao Chen could make a move, the sloppy-looking Senior Gui suddenly came out. No one noticed how Senior Gui made a move. They only knew that he suddenly stood in front of Xiao Chen. Then, Senior Gui kicked out and sent the person crashing into the wall. That person grunted and fell down while vomiting blood. Bai Yan, I'm not doing business here today. Look for another place. The black-clad old man sent a voice projection. Bai Yan, on account of our past friendship, I'll advise you to leave quickly. You cannot afford to offend this youth, nor can you touch him. When Bai Yan, who already had a murderous intent in his heart, heard that, it was like a bucket of cold water splashed over him, immediately extinguishing his murderous intent. What kind of status did Elder Ghost have? He knew very well that Elder Ghost's words could not be false. He was very smart. He thought that Old Ghost's action this time was to prevent Xiao Chen from acting up, and to reduce his losses as much as possible. My apologies, my subordinates have offended you just now. I will take my leave now. For Bai Yan to be able to make it to where he was today, he was extremely tactful when dealing with matters. With a smile on his face, he prepared to leave as if nothing had happened. Who gave you permission to leave? Xiao Chen said calmly the moment the other party turned around. Bai Yan, whose back was facing Xiao Chen, scrunched up his face in anger. But when he turned around again, his face was full of smiles again. Little friend, don't be so unforgiving. How about we let today's matter rest here? Unforgiving? Well said. Why? Do you feel wronged now? Xiao Chen said sarcastically. Just now, he had done his best to humiliate Xiao Sua in front of him. Now, he actually turned the tables on Xiao Chen, saying that he was unforgiving. Furthermore, that subordinate of his attacked Xiao Chen. Without Xiao Chen's permission, how could that subordinate dare to act rashly? First, Xiao Chen humiliated and injured Xiao Sua. Then, he got his subordinate to attack Xiao Chen. If Xiao Chen were not strong enough, he would have died here for nothing. Now that Xiao Chen knew how powerful Xiao Chen was, it would not be that easy to leave. When Bai Yan heard that, he felt stifled. His face sank. Don't think that I, Bai Yan, fear you. If not for this being Elder Ghost's place, Xiao Chen smiled coldly. So what? I am standing here right now. Do you dare to make a move on me? Suddenly, a small black snake appeared on Xiao Chen's shoulder. Its scarlet eyes looked coldly at Bai Yan. Under the Jiao snake's gaze, Bai Yan trembled. He felt like he had fallen into an ice cave, a bone-chilling cold. A late-stage major primal core ferocious beast. Furthermore, it was an existence just short of breaking through to the Cloud Sea realm. Bai Yan sucked in a breath of cold air. Now, he understood why Elder Ghost said that. As an early-stage major primal core cultivator, Bai Yan should have been able to survive against this Jiao snake and flee. However, his 4 subordinates would not be able to retaliate at all. In just a few moves, they died here. Sir, what do you want? Just say it directly. As long as I can do it, Bai Yan will definitely do it. Without hesitating for long, Bai Yan chose not to fight when the odds were against him, preserving his strength first. Upon seeing this scene, Xiao Suo felt somewhat startled. He had not expected Xiao Chen to interfere and stand up for him. Scram. I only need to see your helpless appearance. That will be enough. Xiao Chen showed disdain on his face as he spoke indifferently. These were the words that Xiao Chen said when he knocked Xiao Suo into the air. Who could have imagined that the affairs of the world were unpredictable? Soon, it would be Xiao Chen's turn. You tricked me. Bai Yan reacted and immediately trembled in rage. It turned out that Xiao Chen had been fooling him from the very start. I'm not fooling you. I just want you to know that you are nothing now. Put away that pitiful pride of yours and stop acting aloof and disdainful. I will not interfere in the grudge between you and Xiao Suo. One day, he will personally settle it. Bai Yan's expression flickered. Then, he gritted his teeth as he looked at Xiao Chen. Many thanks for teaching this Bai a lesson. However, if you expect this trash to surpass me, you are overthinking it. Life is full of ups and downs. Who knows what the future holds? Scram and don't appear before me again. Xiao Chen did not show any fear. He enunciated every word clearly as he looked coldly at the other party. You will regret this. A venomous gaze flashed in Bai Yan's eyes. Then, he glanced at Xiao Chen and quickly left. At the side, Xiao Suo's eyes were somewhat moist. He had clearly vented his anger. However, for some reason, as a man, he still felt flustered in his heart. Little friend Xiao Chen, you should not have let him go. This person is a venomous snake. He knows how to endure silently. In the future. Old Gue sighed softly at the side. Xiao Chen looked at Xiao Suo and said, Did you hear what Senior Gue said? However, I am confident that one day, you will help me kill this venomous snake. Senior Gue was startled. It turned out that Xiao Chen purposely spared this person to motivate Xiao Suo. Similarly, Senior Gue could tell that Bai Yan could not be spared. However, he spared him. Such courage and boldness were truly admirable. For today's grace, I will personally kill Bai Yan in the future. Xiao Suo was extremely moved. He knelt on one knee and said solemnly. Seeing Xiao Suo's stance, Xiao Chen was stunned at first. Then, he revealed a gratified smile and helped Xiao Suo up. Rage was not scary. What was scary was getting carried away by rage and losing the will to fight. Such a person would truly be crippled. When Xiao Chen saw Xiao Suo's gaze, he knew that this man of steel had been enlightened today. He had undone the knot in his heart and regained his will to fight. In this case, it was worth it for Xiao Chen to make a move today. At this moment, Xiao Chen did not know about Xiao Chen's actions. In the future, Xiao Chen would become a legendary pirate king willing to sacrifice his life for the 7 great forbidden seas. Senior Gue, let's begin. Where should we start first? Help me advance to the throne first. Without my help, it will be very difficult for others to understand the trick behind it. Hee hee. That suits me. I, Old Gue, am very interested in this throne as well. In the following 2 days, Xiao Chen remained in the pirate hall, mingling with Senior Gue and making all sorts of preparations. However, these things were huge projects and could not be completed in a short time. However, 2 days later, Xiao Chen had no choice but to leave temporarily and rush to Idle Cloud Restaurant. This was because Xiao Chen's appointment with Senior Lu was in another day. He needed to meet Senior Lu at Idle Cloud Restaurant. Not only would Senior Lu bring medicinal pills for reshaping the Dantian, but he would also bring the various ingredients needed for the Heavenly Yang pill. However, Xiao Chen killed the ice snow sword Luo Feng, causing Yan Xian to lose all his dignity and form a heart demon. The entire city was in an uproar, and everyone knew that this trip was bound to be full of waves. Xiao Chen already anticipated all sorts of situations and made plans for them. However, when the true storm arrived, it far surpassed his expectations. Chapter 1596. Lan Luo, I said enough. I told you not to say any more. Let me tell you, there are many things in this world that are more important than your life. It is just that you, Lan Luo, do not understand. After killing a jumping clown, the commotion was greater than Lan Luo imagined. In merely 2 days, she actually became famous in Purple Sun City. One had to listen to her in everything. Otherwise, one would be in the wrong, angering her. One would be rude and unreasonable. No matter how one tried to explain, it would be useless. Look, Xiao Qin is coming out. If such a person was of extraordinary birth and held a noble status, it would be even more so. When Lan Luo, who was walking over, heard this, she felt somewhat angry. However, the situation was urgent, so she could not be bothered with him. Lan Luo's heart sank. Why is this person like this? I saved his life out of kindness, but he has a stern expression. Sorry for causing a misunderstanding between you and Miss Lan Luo. Xiao Chen's expression immediately changed. He looked at the other party and asked, Are you threatening me? When Fei Er heard that, she paled slightly. She lowered her head and said, Big brother Xiao Chen, how about, did I say anything wrong? Speak. What is more important than your life? What is there to prevent you from leaving Purple Sun City? Lan Luo immediately felt wronged in her heart. She had come to save him out of kindness, but Xiao Chen actually lost his temper at her. Ha! That is natural. He has been spending a lot of money in the Purple Cloud Pavilion. It would be hard for people not to be envious. There has never been a lack of fugitives in Purple Sun City. With so many discussions entering his ears, even Xiao Chen felt somewhat stunned. I heard that some of the small gangs outside the city have their eyes on him as well. Although Lan Luo said that she would not care about Xiao Chen, before she left, she still told Xiao Chen about the Temple Ghost sect seeking trouble for him. Xiao Chen had a rather good impression of this girl. Previously, it was just a small misunderstanding. Of the 3 new talents, one was dead, one had lost all his dignity, and his whereabouts were unknown. Only Feng Buyu remained, a topic of discussion. Miss Lan Luo, are you looking for me? Just at this moment, a melodious voice rang out outside Idle Cloud Restaurant. Xiao Chen looked around and saw Lan Luo walking in, wearing a red dress. Tears welled up in Lan Luo's eyes and slowly flowed out. She said in a somewhat hoarse voice, If I do not leave, will you still attack me? All right, I don't understand. I'll go. Xiao Chen, whether you live or die has nothing to do with me. I heard that he appeared in the Purple Cloud Pavilion once yesterday. When he came out, there was a trace of anger on his face. If the other party had turned against him and left because of a misunderstanding, then this time, Xiao Chen really found it hard to be angry. Lan Luo calmed herself and explained the pros and cons, hoping that Xiao Chen would listen to her. However, in Xiao Chen's heart, he did not regret it at all. 2 days ago, he was the one who killed the Ice Snow Sword, Luo Feng, and humiliated the Burning Moon sect's Yan Xian. Even now, his whereabouts are unknown. Misunderstanding? There is no misunderstanding. I know why he is here. However, never mind. She has not experienced it before, so it would be hard for her to understand the promise of going through thick and thin together. Naturally, Xiao Chen and the others ignored her, continuing to drink and chat. Fei Er felt somewhat nervous. Her senior brother would be saved soon. She hoped that nothing unexpected would happen. They would arrive at Idle Cloud Restaurant soon. Think whatever you want. Give me the pirate flag, and I will return the spirit jades to you in their original state. After that, I will send someone to escort you away. Purple Sun City will immediately become a land of trouble. The game that follows is not something you can play. Lan Luo's words struck Lan Luo's soft spot, making her feel helpless and flustered. Indeed, what was more important than Xiao Chen's life? Xiao Chen said indifferently, Thank you. However, I still have things to do and cannot leave. Xiao Chen had a clear conscience. He did not kill the innocent and gave the other party many chances. All of this was the ice snow sword, Luo Feng. He only had himself to blame. Xiao Chen took a sip of wine to drown his sorrows, no longer talking about Lan Luo. There would always be some people who stubbornly believed that, since they had given 100% of their sincerity to you, you had to give 100% of your sincerity back. Xiao Chen looked at Lan Luo coldly. I know that you have a noble status and an extraordinary background. However, in my eyes, there is nothing special about you. Don't think too highly of yourself, thinking that just because you gave me something, I should be deeply grateful and kowtow to you. As for the obvious gazes, there were countless of them. Big brother, Beauty Lan Luo is here again. When Xiao Suo saw the situation, he immediately smiled and said, your charm is really extraordinary. You underestimate me, Xiao Chen. It doesn't matter if you sincerely want to save me or if you covet my pirate flag. You'd better disappear immediately. I wonder if he will seek trouble for that white-robed Xiao Chen. If he does, that would be interesting. He is really bold. I thought that he had already left Purple Sun City long ago. To think that he dares to remain here after offending 2 large sections. Why are you not listening to me? Is there anything more important than your life? Lan Luo raised her voice and advised, do you think that after killing the ice snow sword, you can do as you please in Purple Sun City? Have you heard? One of the 3 new talents of the Purple Sun region, the wind-chasing Sex Feng Buyu, has appeared, someone in the inn said in a low voice at this moment. Big brother, there are so many eyes on us. There are people in the open and in the dark. Xiao Suo sized up the surroundings, appearing extremely cautious. Xiao Suo's blood surged, and his body tensed up. Even when he robbed those large sects, he had not experienced such a feeling. Fei Er said softly, Big brother Xiao Chen, so, he came here to look for me for the Scarlet Blood War banner. Since Xiao Chen already knew the origins of the Scarlet Blood War banner, he naturally would not hand it over. However, he is someone who can even kill the ice snow sword. If you want to target him, you have to think about it carefully. The moment Xiao Suo said that, this topic immediately ended, as someone discovered Xiao Chen's presence. Xiao Chen did not hesitate, directly stepping in. Then, he took a seat and ordered some food, waiting for Senior Lu to appear. Xiao Suo was indeed somewhat afraid. After all, who was not afraid of death? However, he also felt some excitement. Xiao Suo immediately did not dare to continue the conversation. Afraid. Naturally, I am afraid. Who would not be afraid of causing such a huge commotion? However, if we really fight, I absolutely will not cower. Xiao Suo's words attracted the gazes of many people, and they all revealed curious expressions. Lan Luo nodded and said, right. Hand over that tattered pirate flag to me. Quickly leave Purple Sun City. Otherwise, your life will be in danger. He appeared 2 days ago. However, he was outside the city. I don't know what he is doing, being so mysterious. Xiao Chen smiled faintly. This Xiao Suo was speaking the truth. Xiao Suo did not have as many trump cards as Xiao Chen did, so it was hard to avoid fear. Seeing Fei Er's expression, Xiao Chen truly felt angry. He held his wine cup and slammed it down heavily on the table. Then, he said coldly, enough. Xiao Chen had seen too many major scenes. His heart was as calm as an ancient well, calm and unperturbed. The white-robed Xiao Chen came out from the Pirate Alliance. Since Xiao Suo killed him, so be it. There was no need to think too much. Xiao Chen did not want to explain too much. One day, when the other party truly matured, he would naturally understand who was right and who was wrong. He would also know that there were many things in this world that were more important than his life. Don't overthink. Things are not as bad as you think. Xiao Chen. Bang! Lan Luo simply did not want to see such a person, who had helped her and made her think highly of him, die in Purple Sun City like that. Xiao Chen asked calmly, are you afraid? Lan Luo had never suffered such grievances before. She felt so wronged that she wanted to cry. Xiao Chen smiled consolingly and said, "It's fine. Don't overthink. No matter what, I will wait for Luo Nan to recover before leaving. If one did not die, one would not die." Since young, Lan Luo had always been the pearl of her family and friends. Just as Xiao Chen left the western side of the city, his sharp spiritual sense immediately detected several dozen gazes on him. "The Temple Ghost Sect's third sect master outside the city will come looking for you to hand over the dazzling sunlight true flame. Then, you can die at his hands." Chapter 1597. Xiao Chen held his wine cup and pondered. He said to Xiao Sua, "What kind of existence is the Temple Ghost Sect?" "Xiao Sua, tell me about it." Xiao Sua smiled and said, "Big brother, do you really believe what that girl said? I think she just wants to snatch the Scarlet Blood War banner." Xiao Chen shook his head and said, "You don't understand women. Although her personality is a bit bad, and she doesn't understand many principles of how to conduct herself in the world. Otherwise, before he left, he wouldn't have told me about the Luo Cha school." Xiao Sua scratched his head and said with a smile, "I'm just a boorish person. However, I do know a bit about this Temple Ghost Sect. There are many bandit gangs outside the city. They might not be worth mentioning in front of second-rank sects, but in the eyes of ordinary people, they are tyrants." Xiao Chen gestured for him to continue. "These bandit gangs typically bully the weak and fear the strong. When they encounter a rank 2 sect's disciple, they are all respectful, but when they encounter a lone wolf, they immediately reveal their ferocious side." Xiao Chen had sensed this when he entered the city. "Who's Xiao Chen? Show yourself." Suddenly, a rumbling roar came from outside Idle Cloud Restaurant. It was deafening. This shocked all the people drinking in the restaurant. Someone actually dared to challenge Xiao Chen. Did he not know that he had even killed the Ice Peak Sword? Could he be an elder of the Burning Moon sect or the Ice and Snow Villa? No, this voice sounded like a bandit and did not have the demeanor of a disciple of a sect. Xiao Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. The one who came should be the Killing Luo sect's third sect leader. He didn't expect the other party to arrive so quickly. His tone was arrogant to the extreme. "Big brother, this person must be the Temple Ghost Sect's third sect master. His nickname is Black Tiger, and he is an early-stage minor primal core cultivator. He has experienced many battles and is good with the saber." Xiao Sua's expression changed slightly when he heard this voice. Xiao Chen got up and put down his cup. He said softly, "You guys stay here. I'll go out and take a look." At this moment, a lot of people had already gathered outside Idle Cloud Restaurant. However, they were all hiding far away. They did not dare approach Idle Cloud Restaurant. As a result, the area outside the gate was empty. Only a dark-skinned, ferocious-looking man stood in the middle, looking extremely domineering. "You are the white-robed Xiao Chen?" Black Tiger asked in a deep voice when he saw that the person who walked out was wearing white clothes. A terrifying baleful aura emanated from his body, causing others to not dare approach him. As he spoke, he stared at Xiao Chen like a wild beast. Xiao Chen nodded. "That's me. However, the one I killed was the Ice Snow Sword, Luo Feng. What grudge do I have with your killing Rakshasa sect for you to attack me?" "Ha ha ha, that's right. Our Rakshasa sect is looking for trouble. What kind of grudges do we have? You won the bid for the extreme young real fire, right? Our big brother asked you to hand it over, and then the Killing Luo sect will naturally not trouble you anymore." He Hu threatened, but his eyes were still fixed on Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen looked around. "Just you?" He Hu smiled and said, "I alone am enough to get you to hand over the dazzling sunlight true fire." He Hu looked very awe-inspiring as he held a black saber in his hand. It was like he already had Xiao Chen in the bag. Xiao Chen said indifferently, "It is not impossible. You just need an earth flame of the same grade to exchange for it. If I am satisfied, perhaps I will hand the dazzling sunlight true fire to you." "Interesting. Are you looking down on me? He Hu revealed a sinister smile as he looked coldly at Xiao Chen. In Purple Sun City, there are very few veritable personages who dare to speak to me like this. Even the 3 new talents do not dare to. The veritable personages who dared to speak to me like this are already dead. He Hu's tone was cold, revealing confidence and indifference. When the others heard what He Hu said, they shook their heads in their hearts. The Rakshasa sect's people were indeed overbearing. He Hu was indeed very strong. Furthermore, the Rakshasa sect was considered a peak existence among the factions outside the city. Few people dared to offend He Hu. After all, Xiao Chen was not a local. Furthermore, he had offended the Burning Moon sect and the Ice Snow Mountain Manor. If he did not hand over the dazzling sunlight true fire now, Xiao Chen would probably die here before the people of the 2 sects arrived. You only have 1 life. However, in your long life, you will definitely meet the dazzling sunlight true fire a second time. You understand what I mean? He Hu looked at Xiao Chen and issued a final ultimatum. Did he want to keep his life or keep the dazzling sunlight true fire? Xiao Chen's gaze was as calm as still water. He glanced at He Hu indifferently and said, "Many people have said similar things to me. However, I have always lived well. However, I killed the person who said that, even if he was the Ice Snow Sword. I'll give you a choice as well. Before I truly get angry, scram." Unexpectedly, when faced with He Hu's ultimatum, not only did Xiao Chen not make a choice, but he even told He Hu to scram immediately. Otherwise, only death awaited him. Xiao Chen's calm eyes flashed with some arrogance and sharpness. This fellow. Actually, Lan Luo had not gone far from a tall building in the distance. She still paid attention to the situation in Idle Cloud Restaurant. Lan Luo cursed in her heart. Xiao Chen is too arrogant. Killing the Ice Snow Sword does not mean that he can defeat He Hu. He Hu was an excellent cultivator among the minor primal core cultivators. Furthermore, he was a veteran of hundreds of battles. The Ice Snow Sword, Luo Feng, did not dare to offend such a person. However, not only did Xiao Chen not show any weakness, he even turned the tables and threatened He Hu. Indeed, when He Hu heard Xiao Chen's words, he laughed sinisterly. Ha 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 ha. This is interesting. Xiao Chen, you are the first to dare to threaten me like that. However, you will definitely be the last. Whoosh. A sharp, furious roar came from He Hu's mouth. Then, his physical body turned into a black afterimage and vanished. In the next moment, He Hu held his saber with one hand and appeared at He Hu's side. Then, he pounced over like a ferocious tiger. A strong wind blew, making it hard for the people watching in the distance to open their eyes or stand firmly. The black saber gave off a cold and sinister light in the air. Then, it turned into a ferocious black tiger, ferocious beast descending on Xiao Chen. This movement technique was so fast that only an afterimage could be seen. This saber light was strange and sinister. There was a terrifying ferocious spirit on the saber. What terrifying strength! Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. This black tiger was indeed much stronger than the Ice Snow Sword. Xiao Chen gathered his veritable essence energy and punched. Bang! The fist light and saber light clashed. Xiao Chen took a step back, feeling his arm go slightly numb. He Hu laughed maniacally and took advantage of the momentum to charge forward, sending out 3 saber strikes. With each saber strike, Xiao Chen took a step back. Instantly, he took 3 steps back. Xiao Chen thought to himself, this black tiger is indeed not simple. Even though I absorbed the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, my veritable essence energy can barely block the other party's attacks. After all, He Hu is an early-stage minor primal core cultivator. The difference in cultivation between us is too great. Of course, Xiao Chen only has a slight advantage in cultivation. You are somewhat strong, but that is all. I heard that you are a bladesman as well. What's wrong? You don't even have the courage to draw your saber before me. Black Tiger laughed maniacally as he held the upper hand in the fight, suppressing the other party. Whoosh! Whoosh! Black Tiger took 2 steps back. For some reason, his right hand, which held the saber scabbard, felt a slight pain. Unexpectedly, the other party's fist light contained a saber intent that was hard to break. After exchanging a few hundred moves, it had already penetrated deep into Black Tiger's arm. While Black Tiger retreated, he quickly suppressed this saber intent. Then, he looked at Xiao Chen and said, "I'll give you a chance to draw your saber." How arrogant! It looks like this Black Tiger wants to toy with Xiao Chen. He can't do anything about it. The difference in cultivation is too great. Clearly, Black Tiger advanced to the primal core realm steadily. His veritable essence energy is exceptionally dense and firm. Xiao Chen is too arrogant. This is the result of his arrogance. He cannot retaliate at all. When the spectators in the distance heard Black Tiger's words, they all discussed it. This made Black Tiger reveal a cocky expression. "You want me to draw my saber?" Xiao Chen revealed an expression of surprise. Is the other party tired of living? While it looked like the other party held the upper hand earlier, the flawless saber intent in Xiao Chen's fist light and great Tao energy were not to be trifled with. Others might not understand, but could it be that this Black Tiger did not? Or was he just pretending to be relaxed? If I tell you to draw your saber, then draw your saber. Otherwise, don't blame me for not even giving you the chance to draw your saber. Black Tiger said coldly. Not only did he want to kill this Xiao Chen, but he also wanted to kill him beautifully. He wanted his name, Black Tiger, to spread even wider in Purple Sun City. Flawless saber technique, void-breaking stance. Since Black Tiger wanted to die, Xiao Chen could only satisfy him. When Xiao Chen drew the lunar shadow saber, Great Tao energy appeared. The strong saber Tao Great Tao energy instantly shattered Black Tiger's saber technique like breaking dead branches. The other party had only comprehended 8 saber souls, not even a saber domain. However, Xiao Chen had already surpassed the saber domain long ago, comprehending Great Tao energy. The two were on completely different levels. The instant the Great Tao energy appeared, Black Tiger felt like his brain temporarily lost its ability to think. When he looked around, Xiao Chen's figure suddenly vanished. Just as he was feeling horrified, a figure suddenly appeared before him. Just as Black Tiger was feeling horrified, a resplendent saber light flashed like the blazing sun in the sky, blinding everyone. The saber light flashed and stabbed into Black Tiger's chest. In that instant, it shattered all his internal organs. Chapter 1598. You. Black Tiger vomited a mouthful of blood. His expression changed drastically as intense pain spread throughout his entire body. He found it hard to understand. Why? Why did Xiao Chen break through his defense with one saber strike? Why did Xiao Chen instantly shatter his saber move, leaving him unable to resist? What exactly was that aura that made his entire body tremble in fear, to the point where he could not even hold his saber? The level of the saber Tao's Great Tao energy was too high. Given Black Tiger's cultivation, he simply could not understand it. Black Tiger did not even know how he lost. How did he lose so quickly, with just one saber strike? The resplendent saber light was incredibly dazzling. It also contained boundless sharpness and the power of lightning, as well as Great Tao energy. Great Tao energy pointed to the Great Tao. The flickering light of the saber light was incredibly frightening. Everyone watching in the distance was stunned. Originally, they thought that Black Tiger was toying with Xiao Chen, telling him to draw his saber. However, who could have imagined that after Xiao Chen drew his saber, he immediately restrained Black Tiger? The advantage of speed was inconceivable. Black Tiger's expression was horrified. His internal organs had already been completely crushed. At this moment, he did his best to drive the energy in his Dantian essence, trying to recover from the damage to his physical body. However, the force contained in Xiao Chen's saber light not only included saber energy but also Great Tao energy. This force was incredibly sharp, firmly suppressing Black Tiger's veritable essence energy. Not only did Black Tiger's physical injuries not show any signs of recovering, but they even worsened. The fear of death spread throughout Black Tiger's entire body. He said sullenly, "I don't want it anymore. I don't want the dazzling sunlight true fire anymore." Black Tiger could not block this saber strike at all. If this dragged on, only death awaited him. Begging for mercy. The Temple Ghost Sect's third sect master, Black Tiger, actually begged for mercy before Shao Chen. This incredible scene startled everyone. When the strong Black Tiger arrived, he was extremely arrogant. He directly told Shao Chen to get out, wanting to snatch away his dazzling sunlight true fire. Everyone thought that Shao Chen was in trouble. At the very least, he had to hand over the dazzling sunlight true fire. When Shao Chen said such arrogant words and rejected Black Tiger, everyone thought that Shao Chen would definitely die. But who would have thought that the result would be the scene before them? Even the three rookies did not dare to provoke the Black Tiger, who admitted that he was no match for Shao Chen, was actually begging for mercy in front of Shao Chen. "It's too late now that you know you don't want it." The quintessence in Shao Chen's body flowed continuously into the saber hilt and entered the Black Tiger's body. The halo of the Great Path behind him condensed and did not dissipate. Boundless might of the Great Path emanated from his body, making people's hearts tremble inexplicably. Shao Chen did not intend to let the other party off at all. This Black Tiger's thinking was too simple. When they came, they called him out by name, demanding him to come out and hand over the dazzling sunlight true fire. If he didn't give it to him, he would take his life. Now that he realized that he wasn't a match for Shao Chen, he wanted to save his own life just by saying that he didn't want it. How could the matters of the world be so simple? That was not the case for everyone. How could he yell at Shao Chen, step on him in front of everyone, and then walk away after saying a few words? Was that even possible? Impossible. Black Tiger had to die. "Shao Chen, I'm a member of the Temple Ghost Sect. If you kill me, you will die a horrible death." Black Tiger's injuries worsened, and his complexion turned incredibly weak. When he saw that Shao Chen still had not let go, he panicked. Black Tiger had no choice but to use the Temple Ghost Sect's name to scare Shao Chen. The Temple Ghost Sect was a peak existence among the gangs outside the city. Moreover, the entire gang was very united. If any one of them were to be touched, they would definitely be killed. If anyone touched a single person, they would definitely be hunted down by the entire Temple Ghost Sect. A large part of the reason why Black Tiger dared to be so arrogant in Purple Sun City was that he had the Temple Ghost Sect supporting him. "Shao Chen, let me tell you this. The Temple Ghost Sect is not like the large sections. They do not have that many formalities. As long as someone is killed, they will turn out in full force. Furthermore, it was my big brother who sent me here." Black Tiger grew increasingly weaker. The fear of death made him place his last hope of survival on the threat of the Temple Ghost Sect. "If I let you go, the Temple Ghost Sect will not seek trouble for me." Shao Chen's cold voice made one's heart tremble. "Indeed, if I let Black Tiger go, the Temple Ghost Sect will not seek trouble for Shao Chen. So, you should just die." A ferocious roar resounded in the air. Black Tiger let out a furious roar of despair. His life force was rapidly diminishing. Amid his despair was boundless regret. He regretted offending Shao Chen, this malefic star. However, now, it was all too late. Pu Ci. Light exploded, and the saber light completely shredded Black Tiger's physical body. Black Tiger turned into a pool of blood drifting in the air. Dead. The Temple Ghost Sect's third sect master, Black Tiger, died. Black Tiger, who was an early-stage minor primal core cultivator, could not even block a single saber strike before Shao Chen. The result was very surprising. Black Tiger's incredibly tyrannical words, "Draw your saber," would probably become the greatest joke in Purple Sun City. How arrogant and tyrannical was it to give you a chance to draw your saber? However, when Shao Chen drew his saber, he did not have a chance to regret it at all. Xiao Chen looked at the white-clad figure holding a saber with fluttering long hair. The onlookers in the distance all revealed strange expressions. This youth was truly decisive in killing, not hesitating at all. Xiao Chen sheathed his saber and scattered his great Dao energy. His emotions did not fluctuate too much. If someone wants to kill me, I will kill them. This was a very simple principle. Young man, quickly leave. The temple ghost sex people will charge in soon. In the past, someone killed the temple ghost sex people. In the end, their corpses littered the streets. Half a day later, an old man suddenly said. He could not bear to see Xiao Chen die just like that. Thank you, but I can't leave. Xiao Chen had an appointment with Senior Lu to meet at Idle Cloud Restaurant today. Since the other party had not appeared yet, he naturally could not leave. This matter concerned Luo Nan's life and Fei Er's expectations. Xiao Chen had to do this. Young man, you are just seeking your own death. The Temple Ghost sect has the advantage in numbers. Furthermore, the second sect master and the first sect master are even stronger than Black Tiger. Many discussions came from the crowd, all of them suggesting that Xiao Chen leave immediately. This person is really going to be unlucky. Seeing Xiao Chen ignore the crowd's advice and enter Idle Cloud Restaurant, that old man shook his head slightly. Xiao Chen did not have to wait for long. In less than 15 minutes, a group of cultivators exuding a heavy baleful aura rode over on tall horses, kicking up a cloud of dust as they galloped towards Idle Cloud Restaurant. These people had the same air as Black Tiger, similarly cold-blooded, tyrannical, and unreasonable. Aside from Xiao Chen's group, Idle Cloud Restaurant was already empty. The guests in there all knew that Xiao Chen killed Black Tiger, so they all feared getting caught up in the crossfire. The entire Idle Cloud Restaurant turned extremely quiet, heavy, and oppressive. The cavalry in the distance rushed over to Idle Cloud Restaurant, kicking up a cloud of dust. The person leading the group had a cold expression. As he looked at the pool of Black Tiger's blood on the ground, he could not help releasing a murderous chi. This person was Black Tiger's second brother, the Temple Ghost sect's second sect master. He was known as Shueshou. Those who kill will pay with their lives. Blood Hand suddenly roared. His voice was like a clap of thunder that shook the surrounding 50 kilometers. The huge Idle Cloud Restaurant shook under this explosive roar. Incessant clanging sounds could be heard coming from the restaurant as the wine cups and wine bottles inside shattered. Boom! Following that, all the doors and windows fell to the ground. The sound waves turned them into powder in the air, scattering with the wind. How strong! The crowd, who had already hidden very far away, all calmed down when they heard this roar. It was just one roar, but it nearly caused Idle Cloud Restaurant to collapse. After all, Idle Cloud Restaurant was supported by formations. After everything quieted down, Idle Cloud Restaurant remained quiet, devoid of any sound. Could it be that the white-robed Xiao Chen had already sneaked away and was not in there at all? If someone wants to kill me, I will definitely kill them. No one is an exception. Naturally, the Temple Ghost sect's Black Tiger is no exception. Just as everyone was feeling bewildered, Xiao Chen's calm and collected reply came from the damaged Idle Cloud Restaurant. Everyone became excited. What a great Xiao Chen! To think that he did not flee. What a great, if someone wants to kill me, I will definitely kill them. Chapter 1599. The Temple Ghost sect's second sect master roared ferociously, a murderer must pay with his life. His voice shattered the windows of Idle Cloud Restaurant, leaving half of the building damaged. Under such pressure, Xiao Chen responded tyrannically with, if anyone tries to kill me, I will kill them. He clashed head-on, not backing down at all. You are seeking death. The Temple Ghost sect's second sect master snorted coldly and shouted, charge in. I want to let him know the consequences of offending the Temple Ghost sect. Boom! With a furious shout, the many Temple Ghost sect disciples dismounted and charged into Idle Cloud Restaurant. However, the moment they stepped through the doors, a cold aura made them tremble. What kind of feeling was that? His entire body trembled, and the cold energy seeped into his bones, making him unable to move at all. A huge suction containing an irresistible force came over. Horrifying miserable cries rang out as the Jiao snake swallowed up the group of people, unable to retaliate at all. Such a strange thing caused the group of killing Rakshasa sect members behind to feel a little uneasy. The doors of Idol Cloud Restaurant were like the gates of hell. After they entered, there was only a startled cry, and then there was no more movement. There were no sounds of fighting or cries for help. There was no sound of Xiao Chen and the others speaking. The silence of the environment coupled with the terrifying startled cries felt exceptionally horrifying. Such a scene was equally strange in the eyes of the others. They did not know what Xiao Chen did, much less what happened in Idol Cloud Restaurant. The Temple Ghost Sect's second sect master's sullen expression turned extremely complicated. Many of the sect disciples circled the entrance of the restaurant, pacing back and forth, not daring to enter. It was very dangerous inside. No one who went in ever came out again. Clearly, these sect disciples did not dare to enter rashly and send themselves to death. After all, everyone only had one life. Go in 2 by 2. No matter what, you have to tell me what happened in there. The Temple Ghost Sect's second sect master was incredibly frustrated. Even he was somewhat startled by the current situation. What was even more despicable was that this happened before everyone. If the second sect master could not kill Xiao Chen, then the Temple Ghost Sect would no longer be able to mingle in Purple Sun City. Now, he was anxious to know what had happened inside so that he could deal with it. When the Temple Ghost Sect members heard that, they were stunned. They simply did not want to enter Idol Cloud Restaurant. However, when he saw the second sect master's dark face, he could only bite the bullet and charge in. However, the huge Jiao snake in Idol Cloud Restaurant was like a chicken eating rice. Every time 2 people came in, they would lower their heads and peck gently, and 2 Temple Ghost Sect members would disappear for no reason. 2, 4, 6, 8, the members of Killing Rakshasa Sect entered but never came out. All of them died silently. At this moment, he couldn't even let out a scream. Hiss! A chill spread through the nearby streets. The many cultivators watching from afar all sucked in a breath of cold air, feeling a chill run down their backs. Terrifying, it was simply too terrifying. The normally bustling Idol Cloud Restaurant was now incomparably sinister in the eyes of the crowd. It had become a haunted building. What exactly happened inside was still unknown. This Xiao Chen is really not simple. That's right. I didn't expect him to be so powerful. Looks like killing him won't be that easy. Almost all of them are dead. Interesting. I wonder if the Temple Ghost Sect's people will demolish Idol Cloud Restaurant. I don't think so. If they really demolish it, they will be utterly embarrassed. To think that one person forced them to not even dare to enter the door. Regardless of whether the Temple Ghost Sect's second sect master was willing or not, the members that he brought over never returned. Everyone who went died. The second sect master sent out his mental energy but discovered that it was shrouded in fog. The interference prevented him from seeing anything. Is this all the Temple Ghost Sect has? In that case, it is best not to enter this door. Otherwise, every person who enters will die. No matter how many people come, it will be useless. Xiao Chen's cold shout came from the quiet Idol Cloud Restaurant, making the hearts of many sink. If it were before, no one would dare to believe Xiao Chen's words. They would only think that he was bragging. However, now, no one dared to doubt Xiao Chen's words. He did indeed have the ability to do so. You are seeking death. Back off. I'll go. The Temple Ghost Sect's second sect master shouted ferociously. Then, he turned into an afterimage and flew towards the doors of Idol Cloud Restaurant. However, just as the second sect master approached the doors, his body suddenly bent upward at an inconceivable angle. He was like an eagle soaring into the sky, directly barging into Idol Cloud Restaurant from above. A cold smile flashed in Xiao Chen's eyes when he saw the other party enter in such a manner. Xiao Chen's figure flashed and arrived on the second floor, coldly eyeing the other party. The Temple Ghost Sect's second sect master was dressed in yellow. He was a peak minor primal core cultivator, more than one grade higher than Black Tiger. The second sect master was only one step shy of advancing to the major primal core realm. Of course, this was the final step. Without any special fortuitous encounter, he would never be able to cross this step. Die. When the yellow-clad sect master saw Xiaoqin appear, he shouted ferociously, and 3 streams of veritable essence energy that had undergone refinement appeared. 3 streams of refined veritable essence energy came from the primal core in his body and charged at Xiaoqin. The veritable essence energy split into 3 and turned into yellow venomous snakes that flicked out their red tongues like they were alive. Then, they charged at Xiaoqin. The veritable essence energy was very fast and came from a tricky angle. In the next second, it arrived before Xiaoqin. Xiaoqin's expression changed slightly. The other party was indeed much stronger than Black Tiger's. Just these 3 streams of veritable essence energy gave Xiaoqin the feeling that he could not block them. If Xiaoqin clashed head-on, he would suffer greatly. After all, he was only a Yin essence stage cultivator. Xiaoqin drew his saber and instantly executed the fish dragon art. In that instant, Xiaoqin quickly took 3 steps, swinging his saber with each step. Every saber strike targeted the weak points of the veritable essence energy venomous snakes. After 3 saber strikes, the veritable essence energy venomous snakes scattered. The yellow-clad sect master's expression immediately turned grave. Xiaoqin, who was only a Yin essence stage cultivator, actually managed to receive 3 moves before him. Xiaoqin could not be underestimated. This Xiaoqin definitely had an extraordinary background. He might be a genius disciple of a rank 3 sect. That's right. That must be it. Otherwise, he could not fight across cultivation realms and display such strong combat prowess. Aside from this, the yellow-clad sect master also felt that this idol cloud pavilion was somewhat strange. From the moment he entered, it felt like someone was watching him. That feeling lingered, unable to get rid of. Suddenly, the yellow-clad sect master thought of retreating. He felt that he could not remain in this restaurant. He should wait for his big brother to arrive before making a decision. After all, his big brother was a major primal core cultivator. He was very knowledgeable. Even if the other party was a genius outstanding talent of a rank 3 sect, he would definitely be able to kill Xiaoqin. With this thought, the yellow-clad sect master pushed off with his feet, wanting to leave the way he came. Seeing that Xiaoqin did not chase after him, the yellow-clad sect master heaved a sigh of relief. He could finally leave this place. However, suddenly, a huge black shadow swept towards the yellow-clad sect master. This shadow carried a dense cold chi that made one's entire body go numb, so cold that one trembled. Before the yellow-clad sect master could turn his head to look, the Jiao snake's tail struck him. All the bones in the yellow-clad sect master shattered, and he vomited a mouthful of black blood. He felt like his soul was trembling. The yellow-clad sect master felt dizzy, and intense pain spread out. The Jiao snake's strike took away most of his life. No. The yellow-clad sect master was even more horrified. In the next moment, Xiaoqin chopped down with the lunar shadow saber, as if he had predicted that the Jiao snake would strike him. Pu Ci. The saber strike knocked the yellow-clad sect master out of idol cloud pavilion amid his startled cry. When the yellow-clad sect master landed, all signs of life vanished. A saber wound cut the yellow-clad sect master's body from top to bottom. If not for the yellow-clad sect master's strong physical body, this saber strike might have chopped him in half, leaving him without a complete corpse. Finally, someone came out of Idol Cloud Pavilion. However, the person who came out was a corpse that could not speak. Outsiders still did not know what happened in Idol Cloud Pavilion. As the crowd looked at Idol Cloud Pavilion, their expressions changed completely. Even the Temple Ghost Sect's second sect master died. How horrifying was that place? Duh. 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 The sound of horse hooves rang out. A strong aura surged over, and the crowd quickly made way. When the crowd clearly saw who it was, their expressions changed slightly. The people of the Ice Snow Mountain Manor and the Burning Moon sect had finally arrived. Chapter 1600. The Ice Snow Mountain Manor's new talent, the Ice Snow Sword, was killed. As for the Burning Moon sect's new talent, Yen Xian, he was in an even more miserable state. Yen Xian had been frightened into crawling and fleeing with just one look, losing all his dignity. Not only himself, but even the Burning Moon sect had lost face. Yen Xian probably knew that he would not be able to escape punishment when he returned to the sect, so he went missing. Even now, no one knew where he was. A sect's new talent represented that the sect had a successor. When they roamed the world, they represented the face of the sect. However, of the two rank 2 sects, one died and the other fled because of Xiaochen, losing all face. Xiaochen alone slapped the faces of 2 rank 2 sections. Such a thing would be unacceptable in any sect. Furthermore, the rank 2 sects of the Purple Sun region were overlord-class existences. However, because the sects were too big, there were too many formalities. Since the 2 sects wanted to send people to resolve this matter, they had to discuss who to send, who had the time, who was willing, and who was suitable. The strength of the person to send was very important. Naturally, they had to discuss it carefully. However, the Temple Ghost sect did not have so many worries. They came when they wanted to. Hence, they rushed ahead of the 2 sections. Although the experts of the 2 sects did not come, there were people keeping an eye on Xiaochen's actions in secret. When the decision was made, the efficiency of the large sects became apparent. The Burning Moon sect and the Ice Snow Mountain Manor arrived at nearly the same time. The Burning Moon sect and the Ice Snow Mountain Manor each sent 100 people. The leaders were major primal core cultivators. The weakest of the 100 disciples was a young essence cultivator. It was clear that these were all elites and experts. The 2 sects were truly enraged. In the Purple Sun region, a major primal core cultivator could be considered a peak expert. Even in Purple Sun City, major primal core cultivators were rare. Han Feng, unexpectedly, you came personally as well, the leader of the Burning Moon sect, Bai Su, said calmly as he looked at the other party. The Ice Snow Mountain Manor's Han Feng said coldly, I only have this one disciple. I was hoping that he would surpass me and become famous. Now that he was killed, how could I not come? It turned out that these 2 were the masters of the new talents of their respective sections. They were also in the upper echelons of their sects and were very strong. Although our sects usually have some disputes, why don't we join forces to kill this white-robed Xiaochen today? Bai Su of the Burning Moon sect suggested to Han Feng. In the past, people had heard that the 2 great sects had gathered hundreds of people to deal with a single person. They would definitely think that it was impossible. How could there be such a person that a rank 2 sect would be so cautious? But now, no one was surprised to learn that the person they were going to deal with was Xiaochen. Not long ago, the Temple Ghost sect's 2nd sect master and 3rd sect master, as well as a large group of gang members, had all died at Xiaochen's hands in Idle Cloud Restaurant. All these facts told everyone that Xiaochen was not simple. Sure. Han Feng's eyes flickered for a moment, and he agreed with the Burning Moon sect's Bai Su's decision. From the bottom of his heart, he did not approve of joining forces. To deal with a Een Essence stage brat, they still needed to work together with others. This was a great humiliation. However, in the current situation, they had no choice but to work together. It was better to be cautious. If he were to fail miserably in such an easy task, it would be a huge joke. Da-da-da. Galloping rang out again. The crowd opened up a path. It was the Temple Ghost sect's Sect Master Yen, charging over with his men. Sect Master Yen raged, killing intent radiating from his entire body. He felt an indescribable depression in his heart. Unexpectedly, a Een Essence stage brat nearly wiped out most of his Temple Ghost sect. If Black Tiger had underestimated his enemy, then Xiaochen had to be very strong for killing the 2nd sect master's group. Han Feng. Bai Su. Sect Master Shui was greatly startled. He quickly pulled on the reins and withdrew his killing intent. Then, he stepped forward and performed a cupped fist salute. Greetings, elders. The three of them were about the same strength, all early-stage major primal core realm cultivators. However, their statuses differed greatly. No matter how powerful the Temple Ghost sect was among the gangs outside the city, it was an insignificant existence in the eyes of a rank 2 sect. Without an inheritance or accumulations, the Temple Ghost sect was just a group of bandits. Han Feng and Bai Su did not show any good expressions. Bai Su said softly, I heard that your Temple Ghost sect just lost 2 sect masters and more than 100 gang members. Truly a motley crew. More than 100 people did not even get to see the others. Compared to Bai Su, the Ice Snow Mountain Manor's Han Feng was even more arrogant, directly mocking them. Sect Master Shui immediately became enraged. He said sullenly, no matter how great the losses of my Temple Ghost sect are, it cannot compare to the losses of the 2 of your sections. One new talent was killed, and the other was in an even worse state. The new talent crawled away like a turtle. You must be tired of living. Han Feng snorted coldly. Suddenly, a frigid cold wind started blowing wildly. Between heaven and earth, the temperature plummeted, and everyone felt an icy chill. Snowflakes drifted down, and the cold wind blew. The dancing snowflakes spun around like sharp knives. How strong! The people watching in the distance quickly retreated in a fluster. Who could have expected that Han Feng could easily bring out such a strong will of ice with a thought? This will of ice was already infinitely close to the domain realm. Furthermore, Han Feng's major primal core realm cultivation allowed his veritable essence energy to be continuously refined and refined. Now that it was contained in the snowflakes, it made sense that it gave off such strong pressure. In mere moments, a thick layer of snow blanketed the ground. This clearly showed how vast Han Feng's veritable essence energy was. Humph! Do you think this old man is easy to scare? Not to be outdone, Sect Master Shui released a scarlet light from his body. Together with a strong baleful aura, he quickly clashed with the boundless snowflakes. Enough! Seeing that the two were about to fight, the Burning Moon sect's Bai Su quickly made a move. A heat wave surged up from the ground, instantly melting everything. Bai Su forcefully suppressed the two's wills. Immediately, Han Feng and Sect Master Shui became cautious. Sect Master Shui snorted coldly. Although my Temple Ghost sect is not an impressive existence, we cannot tolerate being humiliated. Don't think that we are easy to bully. At the very most, I can just run to another astral region. Your Ice Snow Mountain Manor will not care. Seeing that Han Feng was about to fight again, Bai Su quickly said, Stop. We are here to deal with Xiao Chen. Don't let the people in Idle Cloud Restaurant laugh at us. Inside Idle Cloud Restaurant, Luo Nan, Fei Er, and Xiao Sua all felt immense pressure. It seemed like the situation was getting more and more chaotic. Not to mention the Temple Ghost sect, 2 rank 2 sects actually charged over as well. Big brother Xiao Chen, how about we leave first? Fei Er suggested in a soft voice. Xiao Sua shook his head and said, It is already too late to leave. They have already surrounded Idle Cloud Restaurant. There is no way out. Xiao Chen used his spiritual sense to size up the scene outside. Then, he released his bated breath. Clearly, the rank 2 sects had late-stage major primal core experts. However, there were too few of them. Furthermore, the time of these people was precious. They would definitely not leave the mountain just for one Xiao Chen. Furthermore, they had to guard their sect's territory and could not move casually. The ones that came were all early-stage major primal core cultivators. 3 early-stage major primal core cultivators. The pressure on Senior Jiao Snake increased significantly. However, he could still handle the situation, so there was no need to panic for now. As Xiao Chen expected, the late-stage major primal core peak experts of the rank 2 sects would definitely not come. As for the Supreme Elder of the Cloud Sea Realm, the death of a new talent was not something that could be passed on to the Supreme Elder. Shao Chen communicated with the Jiao snake. Then, he said to Xiao Sua and the other two, with me around, there is no need to panic. Just listen to me. Fei Er said sullenly, there is no need to panic. Senior brother and I are just worried about implicating you. When Xiao Chen heard that, he laughed loudly and said, there is no need to talk about implicating me. We have all gone through trials and tribulations together. If we really reach a dead end, we will definitely live and die together. Killing one is breaking even, and killing two is already a gain. A brilliant light flashed in Xiao Chen's eyes. The hot-bloodedness in his bones blazed as he said, that's right. Live and die together. Outside Idle Cloud Restaurant, the people of the three factions had already surrounded Idle Cloud Restaurant so tightly that not even water could trickle through. For a time, the Idle Cloud Restaurant became an isolated existence on the street. Everyone in the distance broke out in a cold sweat for Xiao Chen's group of three. With the two rank 2 sects working together, Xiao Chen no longer stood much of a chance. At this moment, Sect Master Xue and the other two had already reached a consensus under Bai Su's mediation. Whoosh! 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 The three soared into the air, and the auras of major primal core experts spread out, encasing the entire Idle Cloud Restaurant. Rumble! The ground trembled. It was like 3 mountains had fallen on Idle Cloud Restaurant, on the verge of collapse. Upon seeing the actions of the 3 experts, everyone exclaimed. They were preparing to use violent means. They wanted to destroy the restaurant together with Xiao Chen. No matter what means they used, they would use their cultivation to suppress them. They would not even be able to enter Idle Cloud Restaurant. Chapter 1601. An indescribable light flashed in her eyes. If the earlier Xiao Chen had only inspired some admiration in her, now, her heart suddenly raced. But at this moment, her heartbeat suddenly sped up, mixed with an indescribable feeling of conflict. Inside Idle Cloud Restaurant, Xiao Chen expressionlessly placed a palm strike on the Jiao snake's body. However, as expected, the scene of Idle Cloud Restaurant collapsing did not happen. If the Jiao snake had succeeded, Xiao Chen's group and Idle Cloud Restaurant would have been crushed to pieces under the combined attacks of the 3 experts, dying without a grave. In this excellent opportunity to make a move, the 3 experts did not hold back. Xiao Chen did not hold back much. The scene immediately turned somewhat bloody and cruel. Without the support of the 3 leaders, everyone was caught off guard and injured by the shock waves. They were caught off guard and injured by the shock waves. Furthermore, Xiao Chen and Xiao Sua suddenly jumped out. This was called suppressing others with one's aura, using pure strength to suppress others. Feng Buyu, the last new talent of the Purple Sun region, appeared at the very last moment just as everyone was about to forget about him. Who was it that was so strong, able to receive the killing moves of 3 early-stage major primal core experts at the same time? When Xiao Chen died, that late-stage major primal core expert would definitely choose to leave. The Ice Snow Mountain Manor, the Temple Ghost Sect, and the Burning Moon Sect worked together with 3 major primal core experts. However, they still could not capture Xiao Chen. A cold, sinister intent spread throughout Idle Cloud Restaurant. The Jiao snake spat out a mouthful of cold qi, forcefully blocking the martial techniques of the 3 experts. The Ice Snow Mountain Manor, the Burning Moon Sect, and the Temple Ghost Sect suffered heavy casualties. Her pretty, soul-stirring eyes looked at Xiao Chen, whose white robes were stained with blood, holding his saber and facing off against 3 major primal core experts in front of Idle Cloud Restaurant. However, they did not expect to see such a scene when they arrived. 3 experts executing peak martial techniques at the same time was rather rare in Purple Sun City. This concerns my own safety and interests. Stop labeling me as cruel. I, Xiao Chen, have never been an indecisive person. A strong battle hunger surged in Xiao Chen's heart. As he held the Lunar Shadow Saber, a treasure saber that surpassed profound tools, he unleashed his battle hunger, sweeping through everything in his path. Sky Burning Moon Shadow. They instantly felt somewhat confused. What kind of existence was in Idle Cloud Restaurant? Hovering in midair, Han Feng, Bai Su, and sect leader Shui each vomited a mouthful of blood and were sent flying. Such a scene made many people feel deeply shocked, and their hearts thumped non-stop. Saber light flickered and blood splattered everywhere. At this moment, there was only one word: fight. Xiao Qin retorted coldly, "What a joke. If I did not kill them, would I give you the chance to reorganize these people and charge back into Idle Cloud Restaurant? Watch my friends and myself fall into danger." Then, Sect Master Shui led more than 300 people to surround and kill Xiao Qin. The original owner of the pirate flag was also pushed forward, expressing his desire to take back the pirate flag. Everything seemed reasonable. They were just waiting for Xiao Qin to speak. "If someone tries to kill me, I will definitely kill them." On the other hand, Xiao Qin even killed the group of disciples and gang members, dealing a painful blow to them. Kill. If Xiao Qin reorganized himself, he would have strong combat prowess. If he did not take this opportunity to kill his way out, he would be soft-hearted. If he did not do so, he might very well be the next one to die. After a while, Xiao Qin shouted, "Dao! Feng Buyu, what are you doing here?" Not even dregs remained, extremely pitiful. Xiao Qin's words left the three at a loss for words. A figure flashed, and a figure flew out of Idle Cloud Restaurant. His white robes fluttered. It was Xiao Qin. This result was simply unexpected. When the three saw the scene before them, they were startled, their faces filled with shock. Only Xiao Qin stood in front of Idle Cloud Restaurant. His white robes were stained with blood, and his long hair fluttered in the wind. Blood flowed like a river in front of Idle Cloud Restaurant. Countless corpses littered the ground. Of the three factions, the people of the Temple Ghost sect were all dead. The disciples of the Ice Snow Mountain Manor and the Burning Moon sect were all frightened, fleeing in all directions. Boom! Feng Buyu ignored the other party. He looked at Xiao Qin and said, "Xiao Qin, I remember that you bought a pirate banner at the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Now, the seller wants to take it back. We have already negotiated with the Purple Cloud Pavilion, so hand over the pirate banner." The heavy Great Tao energy supported Senior Jiao Snake, instantly breaking the stalemate between the Jiao Snake and the three experts. Han Feng and Bai Su were enraged as well. The Ice Snow Mountain Manor and the Burning Moon sect had not suffered such a huge loss for many years already. That was right. That was what they thought. Was it worth it or not? Far away, in a tall building, Lan Luo covered her mouth in disbelief. To think that Xiao Qin did not show any fear when facing three major primal core cultivators. His aura even increased. Corpses littered the ground, as well as the flowing blood river. No one dared to doubt Xiao Qin's words. Feng Buyu nodded and said, "That's right. My wind-chasing sect can guarantee your safety. At the same time, I will agree to one of your requests." Then, he did not hesitate to make a move, Xiao Qin said indifferently as he swept his gaze across the surroundings. As the three looked at Xiao Qin, they suddenly discovered that this youth gave off a strong aura of someone who had experienced the vicissitudes of life and gone through many trials and tribulations. No one had expected that the three would use such a tyrannical and cruel method to deal with Xiao Qin. However, they firmly held on, not letting any of the energy from the three great killing moves leak into Idle Cloud Restaurant and injure Xiao Qin's group. Xiao Qin could not tell if it was his blood or someone else's. At this moment, it was silent. Only the dripping sound of the blood from the two sabers could be heard. Traceless falling snow. You are actually extremely cruel, killing all the people of my Temple Ghost sect." Sect Master Shui's entire body trembled in anger. The Temple Ghost sect that he established with so much difficulty was completely destroyed today. Ha ha ha. The Ice Snow Mountain Manor and the Burning Moon sect are actually going to submit to a foreigner who came from nowhere? Suddenly, laughter came from the distance. The wind-chasing sect's Feng Buyu led a group of people and appeared here. Behind Feng Buyu was the person in charge of the Purple Cloud Pavilion, the beautiful woman whom Lan Luo addressed as Aunt Bai. She slowly walked out and looked at Xiao Qin softly. I'm sorry. However, we will return 5 times the spirit jades to you to compensate young Master Xiao Chen for your losses. We can even step forward and deal with the trouble that you are in. The shock waves from the fight between the Jiao snake and the 3 experts spread out, injuring most of the cultivators of the 3 factions surrounding Idle Cloud Restaurant. Don't even think about stepping into Idle Cloud Restaurant. Otherwise, no matter who it is, I will make them pay a heavy price. The things that happened today were sufficient to prove that clashing head-on with Xiao Chen would not end well. Originally, the Burning Moon sects by Su roared ferociously. However, the situation now did not seem quite right. The Burning Moon sects by Su roared ferociously. The bright moon could no longer be seen in the sky, but the shadow of the moon enveloped Idle Cloud Restaurant and burned fiercely. This was especially so for the Temple Ghost sect. Their members were the weakest. They were practically wiped out in an instant. The expressions of Han Feng, Bai Su, and sect master Shui changed at the same time. They all sensed that someone had blocked their killing moves at the same time. They were extremely shocked in their hearts. Xiao Qin stood upright while holding his saber. His scarlet clothes flapped loudly in the wind. An intense clash occurred invisibly. Although the Jiao snake felt some pressure, it did not feel anything. The killing moves, which should have ended in an instant, entered a stalemate. The 3 clashed with the Jiao snake and were forcefully held back. The Ice Snow Mountain Manor's Han Feng drew his sword, and a cold light flickered at the tip. A boundless snowstorm fell silently. Every snowflake spun rapidly. After 15 minutes, the 3 experts forcefully suppressed their injuries and rushed back to Idle Cloud Restaurant. They should have thought that they might be killed as well. Han Feng, Bai Su, and sect master Shui actually hesitated, not daring to attack again. The Ice Snow Mountain Manor's Han Feng, the Burning Moon sect's Bai Su, and the Temple Ghost sect's sect master Shui, 3 peak early stage major primal core experts. Xiao Chen's heart sank. It looked like the secret of the Scarlet Blood War banner was still exposed. Sect master Shui roared, and the baleful aura all over his body suddenly gathered, not releasing it. Just as these people followed the 3 experts and surrounded Idle Cloud Restaurant, preparing to kill Xiao Chen, Han Feng asked coldly with a somewhat unsightly expression. In the earlier exchange, Xiao Chen had already guessed that there should be a late-stage major primal core expert in Idle Cloud Restaurant. The 3's plan was for Han Feng and Bai Su to delay that late-stage major primal core expert. All the onlookers felt a chill and broke out in a cold sweat. They were so shocked that they did not know what to say. When Han Feng and Bai Su attacked one after another, the Jiao snake suddenly attacked. A huge palm made of scarlet light ruthlessly pressed towards Idle Cloud Restaurant. Startled cries rang out. The 3 experts actually got knocked back at the same time. At this moment, the leaders of the 3 factions were severely injured and sent flying. Most of the cultivators were injured, and their morale fell to rock bottom. This was the best opportunity to make a move. If the 3 factions continued fighting, even if they managed to kill Xiao Chen, the Ice Snow Mountain Manor and the Burning Moon sect would have to pay 10 times, even 100 times the price. Whoosh! Whoosh! They attacked at the same time. For a moment, Idle Cloud Restaurant was in a precarious situation. All the cultivators were shocked. These attacks contained horrifying sword intent and veritable essence energy, as well as a cold chill, silently fell in waves, dealing a huge blow to Idle Cloud Restaurant. Right now, these sect members and sect disciples did not seem to have much lethality, but once the 3 experts recovered, they would definitely be killed. Corpses piled up, and blood flowed like rivers. The area in front of Idle Cloud Restaurant turned into hell on earth. Chapter 1602. As expected, the secret of the Scarlet Blood War banner had already been exposed. It looked like Lan Luo had come for this earlier. However, due to her status, she could not tell Xiao Chen. It looked like she had misunderstood the other party. Feng Buyu looked at Xiao Chen and continued, Xiao Chen, what do you think? Given your strength, talent, and mental state, the insignificant Purple Sun region is definitely just a stop in your life, not the destination. Why do you want to lose your life here? Xiao Chen looked up at the sky. The scarlet sun was slowly setting in the west, and dusk soon arrived. Xiao Chen, just hand over that pirate flag. In any case, it is not of much use to you, so why bother? Don't you agree? Auntie Bai looked at Xiao Chen with a sincere expression. Xiao Chen smiled and said, Woman, why the need to be so hypocritical? Do you think I do not know that that pirate flag is the legendary Scarlet Blood Pirate King's Scarlet Blood War banner? What? A huge commotion broke out in the surroundings. Xiao Chen's words were startling. The legendary Pirate King's Scarlet Blood War banner. What did this mean? This meant that one could obtain the treasure left by a legendary Pirate King. Even if one did not obtain the legendary Pirate King's treasure, just the value of that Scarlet Blood War banner was worth half a sek's worth. Han Feng's face sank. He looked at Feng Buyu and asked, Feng Buyu, is what he said true? Han Feng and Bai Su were already somewhat relaxed. They did not want to clash head-on with Xiao Chen. They feared that even if they killed Xiao Chen, they would have to pay an even greater price. That would not be worth it. If they paid an even greater price and still could not kill Xiao Chen, it would be unimaginable. However, the expressions of the two, who had already decided to give up, changed drastically when they heard about the Scarlet Blood War banner. No matter what, they could not give up. At the same time, the spectators, who were just watching the show, showed greedy expressions in their eyes after the commotion. Several people left quietly. The news of the Scarlet Blood War banner reappearing would spread quickly. Naturally, the ones with the most interesting expressions were the Purple Cloud Pavilion's Auntie Bai and the wind-chasing Sex Feng Buyu. The two of them put on the appearance of a savior, thinking that Xiao Chen did not know the value of a pirate flag. He pretended to come over, saying that he was here to help Xiao Chen. In the end, they were ruthlessly slapped in the face, tearing apart their hypocritical masks. Feng Buyu's expression was extremely ugly. Killing intent overflowed from his body as he said coldly, Xiao Chen, you're really shameless. Wind Buyu, speak. Is what Xiao Chen said true? Han Feng and Bai Su, on the other hand, were completely agitated at this moment, aiming their cannon fire at Feng Buyu in unison. Seeing Feng Buyu's conflicted expression, Xiao Chen couldn't help but laugh. Feng Buyu, tell everyone, is it true? The beautiful Auntie Bai said coldly, Xiao Chen, what do you gain by doing this? Why is there a need to force us and make things so ugly for everyone? What a great force. Who is the one forcing whom? I, Xiao Chen, only auctioned off 2 things that I wanted. In the end, I was intercepted by some new talent on the street, wanting to kill and snatch my treasures. The 2 great sects are even more shameless, repeatedly coming to Idle Cloud Restaurant to seek trouble for me. Furthermore, right now, the 2 of you are clearly in cahoots, planning to split the Scarlet Blood War banner equally. Yet, you came before me, pretending to be benevolent and righteous, pretending to be sincere and putting on an act. Is there any meaning to this? Xiao Chen revealed a cold smile as he looked at the Purple Cloud Pavilion's pretty woman, revealing a disdainful expression. Such people needed to be ruthlessly slapped in the face. Auntie Bai, we can't care so much anymore. Just kill this brat, search his body, and snatch his spatial ring. A decisive expression flashed on Feng Buyu's face. He prepared to work with the Purple Cloud Pavilion to kill Xiao Chen. Stop! The 2 of you had better not think about monopolizing it, Han Feng shouted coldly. Clearly, he did not want to see the Scarlet Blood War banner land in the hands of others. When Bai Su and Han Feng stood together, they expressed the same thought. For ordinary benefits, there was no need to mobilize a late-stage Major Primal Core Elder. However, for the Scarlet Blood War banner, everything was worth it. When the distant setting sun shone on the blood-covered Xiao Chen, it looked like scarlet light. the situation immediately entered a stalemate. Feng Buyu hated Xiao Chen to the core. This was great. Now, Feng Buyu's plan fell through. If the Scarlet Blood War banner was exposed, it would definitely startle the entire Purple Sun City. At that time, the difficulty of obtaining the war banner would increase significantly. All the experts in Purple Sun City would move upon hearing the news. A bloody storm would be unavoidable. Everyone, I feel that this stalemate is not a solution. It is playing into this brat's hands. He must be delaying for time, the Temple Ghost Sect's sect master Shui, who had been silent for a long time, suddenly said. These words startled everyone awake from a dream. It was indeed unusual for Xiao Chen to take the initiative to give up the Scarlet Blood War banner. He might really be delaying for time. I feel that we should kill him first. If there is anything else, we can make plans later. Sect Master Shui revealed a sinister smile. He hated Xiao Chen to the bone and wished that he could kill him now. A light flashed in Feng Buyu's eyes as he said indifferently, I have no objections. The Purple Cloud Pavilion's Anti-Bai said softly, I have no objections, either. Han Feng and Bai Su exchanged glances and said, that's true. I remember that his friend has the Scarlet Blood War banner. Soon, the group reached a consensus. Kill Xiao Chen, enter Idol Cloud Restaurant, and snatch the Scarlet Blood War banner. Han Feng, Bai Su, Sect Master Shui, a wind-chasing sect elder, and the Purple Cloud Pavilion's Anti-Bai, a total of 5 early-stage major primal core cultivators, locked their auras on Xiao Chen. This immediately multiplied the pressure on Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen glared viciously at Sect Master Shui. This person must die. Even at death's door, you still dare to glare at me? Brat, you are truly reckless, Sect Master Shui replied with a cold snort, feeling extremely upset at Xiao Chen's glare. Die. Even if I die, I will drag you down with me first. Divine Lightning Eye, 4th layer. Suddenly, 4 purple petals appeared in Sect Master Shui's right eye, spinning quickly. Black tribulation clouds immediately appeared in the sky from all directions, quickly gathering and encasing Sect Master Shui's head. Ka-Xie. The instant the 4 petals overlapped, the 10,000 tribulation divine lightning in Xiao Chen's sea of consciousness instantly activated. 6 bolts of tribulation lightning overlapped and landed on Sect Master Shui's body under a situation that no one expected. 1 bolt of tribulation lightning was already startling. 6 bolts of tribulation lightning layered over each other. As the electric light shone, the entire Purple Sun City plunged into darkness. Only that bolt of tribulation lightning shone with a dazzling light, resplendent and eye-catching. All this happened in the blink of an eye. After that, the sky returned to normal. Sect Master Shui vomited a mouthful of blood. His body was blasted into a mangled mess, and he flew off somewhere. With one glance, Xiao Chen severely injured an early-stage major primal core cultivator. His heaven-defying magic skills stupefied everyone. Xiao Chen clearly told everyone that anyone who wanted to kill him, Xiao Chen, had to pay the price. Attack together. Han Feng, Bai Su, and the others felt horrified. However, they also knew that Xiao Chen could not execute this strange martial technique a second time within a short period of time. Without much thought, they swarmed over, preparing to attack together and finish off Xiao Chen. Ice Blood Lightning Dragon. Xiao Chen remained calm. A drop of dragon blood dripped from his right hand, and a 3-colored lightning dragon appeared on his palm, flying towards the Purple Cloud Pavilion's Anti-Bai. That ice blood lightning dragon grew with the wind. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a ferocious and huge berserk dragon containing ice, lightning, and blue dragon blood. Anti-Bai was startled and retreated in a fluster. Her killing move immediately broke, and the ice blood lightning dragon knocked her into the air. The power of ice and lightning swept through her body at the same time, inflicting immense pain. Major magic skill, Dermic World. Xiao Chen's body trembled, and he suddenly turned into a 3-kilometer-tall giant. Then, he swung his saber, sending Han Feng and Bai Su flying at the same time. By the time Xiao Chen's body recovered to its original state, that wind-chasing sect elder had already arrived before him. Flawless saber technique, heartbreaking stance. This saber shattered the heart, shattering the self first before shattering the enemy. Xiao Chen's heart shattered, and intense pain spread throughout his body. All the potential in his body burst out amid the intense pain. Xiao Chen used the heartbreaking stance to clash head-on with this major primal core elder of the wind-chasing sect. Pu Ci. The wind-chasing sect elder vomited a mouthful of blood and fell on the steps of Idle Cloud Restaurant. The difference in strength was still too great. However, before that wind-chasing sect elder could reveal a smile, a crack suddenly appeared in his chest, and a boundless saber intent poured out. This startled the wind-chasing sect elder into retreating quickly, doing his best to suppress the saber chi in his body, not daring to take another step forward. A huge battle happened in the time it took for a spark to fly. 5 great experts attacked together, clashing with Xiao Chen. However, in the end, they were all knocked back. They fought with Xiao Chen until both sides suffered severe injuries. This was a humiliation, an absolute humiliation. After all, Xiao Chen was just a essence stage cultivator. After continuously using his trump cards and executing a self-damaging martial technique like the heartbreaking stance, Xiao Chen's injuries worsened. Fortunately, Xiao Chen possessed the Azure Dragon bloodline. His injuries healed very quickly. After a few battles, he recovered from his injuries. After a few battles, Xiao Chen's blood flowed faster, and his heart beat strongly like a dragon. Hu Qi. Xiao Chen pushed off with his feet and stood up with a somersault. The lunar shadow saber flew out of his hand and stabbed into the ground. He said indifferently, "With me around, no one can even think of getting close." Idle Cloud Restaurant. The tip of the saber stabbed into the ground, and the saber trembled. The wind-chasing sects and the Purple Cloud Pavilion's people were frightened into taking a few steps back. Chapter 1603. Everyone present was frightened silly by Xiao Chen's strength. They clearly knew that Xiao Chen was not in a good state right now, coughing with blood. Xiao Chen's complexion was pale, drained of blood. However, no one caught up to him. Even Feng Buyu, who was in perfect condition, was frightened into taking a few steps back. What exactly is Xiao Chen persevering for? Many people started to feel confused. After seeing Xiao Chen's combat prowess after exposing his trump cards, it was clear that he could leave easily. However, why did he remain in Idle Cloud Restaurant, unwilling to leave Purple Sun City? What was Xiao Chen guarding in the mysterious Idle Cloud Restaurant? This was an unsolved mystery, confusing everyone, inspiring wild and fanciful thoughts. Suddenly, Xiao Chen's expression changed slightly. When he looked at the western sky again, the sun had already set. The scarlet setting sun dyed the distant horizon red, covering a large patch of clouds. As the scarlet afterglow fell on Xiao Chen's body, it mixed with his scarlet robes, making him look somewhat miserable. An indiscernible confusion and anxiety flashed in Xiao Chen's eyes. Did I get cheated? The sky is about to turn dark, but the person I'm waiting for still has not appeared. Is Luo Nan really going to die? I don't want to. I really don't want to see this friend I made after leaving the Kunlun realm fall here. I really don't want to see this pair of lovers part forever. All the more, I don't want to see the kind Fei or cry over this. To Xiao Chen, love was somewhat extravagant right now. Perhaps it was because he saw in Fei or in Luo Nan that he once had with Ryue, or perhaps it was because his original heart still existed, but Xiao Chen stubbornly persisted. Even though Xiao Chen was already very weak, he stubbornly stood in front of Idle Cloud Restaurant, not letting anyone near. The saber hummed endlessly. It was like the lunar shadow saber understood Xiao Chen's stubbornness, the perseverance in his heart, and the pride in his heart. At this moment, the lunar shadow saber hummed endlessly, connected to Xiao Chen's thoughts. The humming of the lunar shadow saber filled the entire place. The strong saber intent shook the entire Purple Sun City. Saber, my Dao, my saber. Ka Xie. At this moment, a certain bottleneck in Xiao Chen's saber Dao suddenly shattered. His Dao realm went from initial glimpse to minor success. The halo of light of the great Dao behind Xiao Chen condensed into a point. Then, it continuously rose, surpassing the bottleneck of 3 feet and reaching a height of 3 meters. Hua! For a moment, in everyone's eyes, Xiao Chen's body seemed to have grown several times taller. The shapeless pressure caused everyone present to feel unbearable, and they had no choice but to retreat once more. At the same time, he couldn't understand what kind of existence this was. Saber intent? Saber soul? Or was it the domain of blades? When Lan Luo, who was far away, saw this scene, she was stunned. This is the power of the great Tao. He comprehended a type of Tao and even increased his cultivation level by a level. What a surprise! I originally thought that such a genius who could comprehend the Tao would only appear in a third-grade sect. Lan Luo's bodyguard Yu, who was hidden in the dark, exclaimed in shock. Breaking through in the face of adversity, improving in the face of despair. But what exactly is he protecting? A confused expression appeared in Lan Luo's eyes. Earlier, in Idle Cloud Restaurant, Xiao Chen had lectured her with a cold expression. He said that she did not understand, that there were many things in the world that were more important than her life. Whoosh! 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 Just at this moment, 3 strong auras suddenly approached from the sky above Purple Sun City. These auras were so strong that they continuously compressed Xiao Chen's overwhelming saber intent, forcing it back to a corner of Idle Cloud Restaurant. This was the immense pressure brought by absolute strength. It had nothing to do with saber intent or great Tao energy. The absolute advantage in cultivation brought absolute suppression. Even though Xiao Chen's Tao had just advanced, he still suffered from this suppression. 3 people landed in front of Idle Cloud Restaurant. Without exception, these 3 old men were all late-stage major primal core cultivators. However, the Jiao snake was slightly weaker than the Jiao snake. The Jiao snake was a peak major primal core expert that had already touched the edge of the Cloud Sea realm. However, the pressure that the Jiao snake gave the Jiao snake was no less than that of the Jiao snake. It was like an ant facing a lion or an elephant. They were both incredibly huge, but to the ant, there was no difference. Upon seeing the 3 old men arrive, the remaining disciples of the Burning Moon sect, the Wind-Chasing sect, and the Ice Snow Mountain Manor all revealed joy on their faces. Greetings, First Elder. The ones who arrived were all existences second only to the sect masters of their respective sections. The expressions of all the onlookers changed drastically. A late-stage major primal core super expert. Super experts of the late-stage major primal core realm had not appeared in Purple Sun City for many years already. Furthermore, 3 of them appeared at the same time. The Ice Snow Mountain Manor's first elder was a white-robed, white-haired old man. As he stood there, he looked like a block of ice. When he swept his gaze around, it felt like he would be sealed in ice. On the other hand, the Burning Moon sect's first elder wore fiery red, crescent moon robes. His entire body exuded a berserk aura, looking like a volcano as he stood there. As for the Wind-Chasing sect's first elder, he wore azure robes. His long hair fluttered continuously like willow catkins. The 3 were very distinct, easily distinguishable. After they landed, they stared at Xiao Chen. Move aside, the white-robed old man said indifferently. The white-robed old man said indifferently. The moment his voice rang out, everyone felt a bone-piercing chill. The chill in one's bones felt like needles pricking one's heart. The tone of the Wind-Chasing sect's azure-robed old man turned slightly warmer. Young man, don't hold on anymore. The 3 of us have already lived for hundreds of years. We are ashamed to fight with you. As long as you leave Idle Cloud Restaurant and vanish from Purple Sun City, we will take it as you never appeared. Big brother Xiao Chen, let's go. Inside Idle Cloud Restaurant, Luo Nan, Fei Er, and Xiao Suo finally convinced the Jiao snake to come out. Xiao Chen looked at the sky. Although the sun was setting, there was still a sliver of sunlight that had not completely set. Shaking his head, Xiaochen said, "The sky is not dark yet. It would be too unfortunate to leave now." Luo Nan said sullenly, "Let's go. Brother Xiaochen, I, Luo Nan, have received your grace and lived until now. I am already very fortunate. I really have no regrets." Fei Er's eyes turned somewhat moist. As she looked at the blood-covered Xiaochen, she felt heartache. "Big brother Xiaochen, let's go. That old man must be lying. He will not come. If senior brother dies, I will feel sad. However, if you die, Fei Er will feel sad as well." Many people came to a sudden realization. Only now did they understand. It turned out that Xiaochen did not leave, remaining in Idle Cloud Restaurant to save his friend's life, waiting for someone to appear. However, from the looks of it, he seemed to have been deceived. That person would not appear. Is it because of this? In the tall building, Lan Luo felt stifled, feeling strangely flustered. In front of Idle Cloud Restaurant, Xiaochen was about to say something when the black lotus mark suppressed by the Buddhist pendant on his chest suddenly erupted. He felt a slight heat on his chest. Invisibly, he felt a person with a similar black lotus mark quickly approaching Purple Sun City. That person must have used his trump card when he attacked repeatedly earlier. Then, he accidentally touched the black lotus mark. In the end, the Black Lotus Church's people sensed it. Xiaochen revealed a bitter smile. He felt somewhat helpless. Unexpectedly, the person he was waiting for did not show up. However, the person he was waiting for was the malefic star that he did not want to meet the most. How reckless! To think that you still dare to delay even at such a cultivation. Xiaochen, no matter where you come from, this is the Purple Sun region. Quickly hand over the Scarlet Blood War banner and scram out of Purple Sun City. The hot-tempered Burning Moon sect's first elder shouted ferociously. Heat waves surged out, forcing Xiaochen's group to take a few steps back, unable to block. Interesting. Truly interesting. 3 undying old men are scaring a child, and their faces are not even red. This old man really feels embarrassed for you. Just at this moment, a sloppily dressed old man appeared on a tall building near Idle Cloud Restaurant. This person appeared silently, causing the 3 first elders' pupils to constrict. Their expressions turned strangely grave. Whoosh! The sloppy-looking old man's figure flashed and landed before Xiaochen. Then, he glanced at Xiaochen and said, "You said to wait for me for 3 days, and I meant it. I did not misjudge you." Xiaochen smiled calmly and said, "I did not misjudge you either. The sky is not dark yet, and Senior Lu did not stand me up. Sorry, the things that you wanted were too difficult to find. I wasted too much time. However, I did not let you down and found them all." Senior Lu smiled. Then, he turned around and looked at the 3 old men. "You should all recognize me. However, for the sake of the Scarlet Blood War banner, you will still fall out with me. In that case, bring it on. In any case, I will protect Xiaochen." Xiaochen felt a strange warmth in his heart. Senior Lu was just a late-stage major primal core cultivator. Facing 3 of them alone would only result in death. However, Senior Lu did not hesitate to step forward and say that he would protect Xiaochen. No matter who it was, when meeting such a senior who valued friendship, they would feel warmth in their heart. Senior Lu's thoughts were very simple. For the sake of keeping your promise, your white clothes were stained with blood. This old man is older and stronger than you. How can I be inferior to you? That is all. Who does not know the strongest alchemist in the Purple Sun region? However, Senior Lu, why did you do this? The Ice Snow Mountain Manor's white-clad old man sighed. The Burning Moon sect's red-robed old man said coldly, "You alone cannot protect him." Rumble. Idle Cloud Restaurant suddenly collapsed. The Jiao Snake's gargantuan body finally revealed itself, appearing before the 3 old men. "What if you include me?" Chapter 1604. Suddenly, the Jiao snake appeared. With its huge body, it looked up at the three first elders. A peak late-stage major primal core ferocious beast. After all, these rank 2 sect elders had seen many things before. The moment they saw the Jiao snake, they did not get frightened. As for the cultivators watching, they fled in fright, no longer daring to remain on this street. Idle Cloud Restaurant was truly a wondrous place. Anything could happen there. Would anyone believe that a late-stage major primal core ferocious beast appeared? It was like a fantasy story, but now it was happening right in front of them. The people who witnessed this scene all felt that their brains were not working well. The Temple Ghost sect was destroyed, a Peking Essence cultivator defeated an early-stage major primal core cultivator, a Jiao snake leaped out of the restaurant where they ate, and the Scarlet Blood War banner reappeared. The series of events that happened today would be incredible if it happened on any other day. No one expected that the death of the Ice Snow Sword Luo Feng would trigger so many things. Old Jiao snake, you are someone who has lived for more than 1,000 years and know the accumulations of a rank 2 sect. If you are wise, ignore the matter before you. Hand over the Scarlet Blood War banner, and everything can be discussed, the Ice Snow Mountain Manor's white-robed old man said with a calm expression. Gaga. It is just a rank 2 sect. How deep can its accumulations be? What's wrong? You want to call out the Cloud Sea old monsters of the sect? Do you have the courage and boldness to do so? What's wrong? You want to call out the Cloud Sea old monsters of the sect? Do you have the courage and boldness to do so? The Jiao snake was very knowledgeable and did not get frightened at all. Indeed, rank 2 sects had Cloud Sea old monsters. However, to a rank 2 sect, such Cloud Sea existences would definitely be extremely old and in closed-door cultivation. He was definitely very old and in seclusion all year round. Unless the sect was at a critical juncture of life and death, he would never come out. Or perhaps, they would go out adventuring and search for a way to break through. How was it possible for him to appear so casually? If he came out. If they were not careful, other factions might destroy their sect. That would be a great sin. The Scarlet Blood War banner was very tempting. However, they could not bear the risk of a disaster happening to their sect after they left. Unless Senior Jiao Snake sought death and ran to their sect's headquarters to hunt them down. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for those Cloud Sea old monsters to appear. After all, it was not a rank 3 sect. There were several Cloud Sea realm cultivators, which one could casually come and go. The Cloud Sea realm cultivators of rank 2 sects needed to guard the sect and protect the inheritance. The Jiao snake's words made the 3 elders feel stifled. Forget it, let's do it. The Scarlet Blood War banner must remain. The 2 of you delay the Jiao snake and Senior Lu. I will deal with this white-clad brat. The Ice Snow Mountain Manor's white-robed old man had not expected the Jiao snake to know the human sex so well. However, he still chose to attack decisively. No matter what, after paying such a huge price, he had to keep Xiaochen. If they could hold on for a while longer, the other reinforcements from the 3 rank 2 sects would arrive. Since they were fighting in their own territory, they did not fear the strength of the Jiao snake. Right after the wind-chasing sect's azure-clad old man spoke, his figure flashed as he charged at the Jiao snake. He was the fastest, so he was the most suitable to deal with the strongest Jiao snake. The Burning Moon sect's red-clad old man fought with Senior Lu. Both of them played with fire. When they faced each other, the fight would definitely be very intense. As for the Ice Snow Mountain Manor's white-robed old man, a cold light flashed in his eyes. With a whoosh, he charged at Xiaochen. Xiaochen felt an extremely dangerous aura. In the time it took for a spark to fly, he executed the modified fish dragon art. Purple flames flowed on the surface of Xiaochen's body as he dodged in the air. He relied on his movement technique to tangle with the white-robed old man. Such a late-stage major primal core realm expert could severely injure or even kill Xiaochen in one exchange. As for Xiaochen, he only had the Dragon Blood Soul Breaking Finger, his only trump card. Attack! Capture Xiao Chen's group of friends. Anti-Bai, who was injured by Xiao Chen, worked together with Feng Buyu to gather the disciples of the Purple Cloud Pavilion and the Wind-Chasing Sect. Then, they charged at Xiao Sua, Fei and Luo Nan. Bastard! Xiao Sua felt incredibly frustrated. After cursing, he said, "Little girl, come behind me with that lover of yours." At this moment, the situation was urgent. There was no time to think too much. Luo Nan was injured, and Fei had yet to mature, so she had no choice but to hide behind Xiao Sua. A chaotic battle quickly unfolded. In the completely dark sky, several experts fought fiercely. Between the sky dome, all kinds of lights flashed and shone. Rumble. The area within 50 kilometers instantly turned into rubble in the aftermath of the battle between the late-stage major primal core experts. Even though most of those buildings had formations supporting them, they still could not withstand the attacks. It was obvious that the person who escaped first had foresight. Amid the chaotic battle, Xiao Chen's side clearly fell into a disadvantageous position. Xiao Chen executed his movement technique to its limits. However, he found it hard to escape the white-robed old man's grasp. The other party's will of ice was incredibly strong with the support of veritable essence energy. Even if Xiao Chen's ice domain was much stronger than the other party's will, it could not make up for the difference. The moment Xiao Chen's will appeared, the other party's will destroyed it like a storm, injuring him instead. Under the influence of the other party's will, Xiao Chen's movement technique was greatly affected, and his speed plummeted. "Brat, unexpectedly, you are quite good at running." The white-robed old man felt somewhat frustrated. Xiao Chen was as slippery as a fish. Several times, Xiao Chen was clearly about to be caught, but he still managed to slip away. Xiao Chen pushed himself to his limits, not daring to let down his guard at all. Despite his fatigue, he thought hard about how to escape. Right now, only the Jiao snake held the upper hand on Xiao Chen's side. However, the wind-chasing sect's azure-clad old man held back the Jiao snake, preventing it from helping. After all, the azure-clad old man was a late-stage major primal core expert. He could not possibly be defeated so quickly. Furthermore, Xiao Chen could sense that mysterious expert from the Black Lotus Church getting closer and closer to the battlefield. The situation grew increasingly chaotic, becoming increasingly disadvantageous to Xiao Chen. "Caught you!" Whoosh! Suddenly, countless strands of cold qi wrapped around Xiao Chen's feet like formless tentacles, stopping him. The white-robed old man laughed maniacally and threw a palm strike at Xiao Chen. When Xiao Chen looked up from the world that belonged to him, this palm strike seemed to cover the entire sky. Before this palm strike, Xiao Chen appeared extremely insignificant. Cultivation. Cultivation. Compared to this old man, Xiao Chen's cultivation was simply too low. Sharp spirit finger. In the time it took for a spark to fly, Xiao Chen executed the sharp spirit finger. All the energy in his body, 2 cauldron force, veritable essence energy, yin essence energy, and the mental energy in his sea of consciousness, gathered in this finger strike. The tip of Xiao Chen's finger was unstoppable. As he pointed, it struck the white-robed old man's palm. Pu ci. Xiao Chen went flying back and vomited a mouthful of blood. However, a bloody hole appeared in the white-robed old man's palm. Cold qi spread out from the white-robed old man's right palm. The bloody, scarlet hole looked very ghastly. "You really have many trump cards." The white-robed old man was slightly stunned. Unexpectedly, Xiao Chen managed to injure him. Taking advantage of the moment the white-robed old man was stunned, Xiao Chen glanced at Xiao Sua's battle. Feng Buyu's group was currently bombarding Xiao Sua with attacks. In just a short while, the wounds and blood on Xiao Sua's body were already very scary. Flawless saber technique, dragon subduing stance. Xiao Chen roared ferociously and swung his saber. The 1,000 dragons gathered into a saber light and chopped down in a berserk manner. When the saber light landed, the sect disciples and Purple Cloud Pavilion cultivators, whose cultivations were not much higher than Xiao Chen's, were all knocked into the air. This immediately alleviated the pressure on Xiao Suo. How dare you get distracted before me? Brat, it seems like you are not dying fast enough. The white-robed old man snorted coldly and flung his hand. The surrounding cold chi suddenly intensified. Clearly, he had underestimated Xiao Chen earlier. How cold! Xiao Chen's body trembled uncontrollably. A late-stage major primal core cultivator was truly an undefeatable existence. Should I use the dragon blood soul-breaking finger and fight to the death? However, just at this moment, Xiao Chen's heart suddenly thumped even faster. It's over. The Black Lotus Church's experts are already here. Over there, Xiao Chen looked up and saw a black hole suddenly appear in the sky. A beam of black light quickly flew over from the hole towards the rubble of Purple Sun City's idol cloud pavilion. The instant the black shadow appeared, everyone's hearts skipped a beat, and they felt an indescribable sense of nervousness. Chapter 1605. Xiao Chen could not help feeling disheartened. There was a tiger in front and a wolf in the back. Was he really going to fall here? The main forces of the three rank 2 sects were definitely on their way. Since even the first elder made a move, the other elders and elite disciples of the sects would definitely not be idle. However, the 3 first elders were rather fast and arrived early. After all, the Scarlet Blood War banner was too tempting. No one wanted the Scarlet Blood War banner to fall into the hands of another rank 2 sect. They would bring out their strongest combat prowess. There was no doubt about this. After that, there were the sect reinforcements. Now, there were the mysterious experts of the Black Lotus Church chasing after him. Xiao Chen did not care about anything else for now, not thinking about the reinforcements of the 3 sections. Right now, the situation was already bad enough. This Ice Snow Mountain Manor's white-robed old man already pushed Xiao Chen to a dead end. Just as Xiao Chen hesitated about whether to fight to the death, the pursuer that he worried about the most appeared at this moment. Does heaven want me to die? As that pursuer approached, the black lotus mark suppressed by the Buddhist pendant released continuously, making Xiao Chen feel like his chest was blocked, burning up uncomfortably. To think that you still have a backup plan. However, just at this moment, the expression of the white-robed old man, who was about to attack Xiao Chen, suddenly sank. Then, he turned around and threw a palm strike at the black light heading for Idol Cloud Restaurant. Bang! The newcomer sent out a black swastika and clashed with the white-robed old man, producing an intense explosion. Blood leaked out of a corner of the white-robed old man's lips. He revealed a grave expression as he soared into the air and took a few steps back. Xiao Chen revealed a surprised expression on his face, feeling somewhat confused. Xiao Chen looked at the newcomer. This person wore black monk robes, had a bald head, and held a Buddhist monk staff. His facial features were regular, giving off a solemn and dignified air. However, the heavy hostility in his eyes spoiled this dignified air. Buddhist cultivator, who are you? Why are you interfering in the matters of my Ice Snow Mountain Manor? The white-robed old man shouted coldly. However, that black-clad arhat did not even look at him. Instead, he shifted his gaze and fixed it on Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen's heart skipped a beat. His soul seemed to be frozen for a moment, and he felt a deep sense of fear. At the same time, he instantly understood that the black-clothed arhat wanted to capture him alive. So the person I was looking for, headmaster, is actually you. The black-clothed arhat revealed a look of disdain. The headmaster actually sent out so many people to deal with this ant-like existence. To think that the 72 arhats, the 4 protectors, and the holy son Ming Xian were all sent out. For such a character, the headmaster was making a big fuss out of nothing. Come with me to see the headmaster. The black-robed arhat took a step forward and walked towards Xiao Chen. There seemed to be an illusory Buddha image behind him, and the might of Buddha restrained Xiao Chen. When the Ice Snow Mountain Manor's white-robed old man heard that, he thought, how can this be? How can I let Xiao Chen go? Stop! A long sword appeared in his hand, and with boundless coldness, he immediately attacked. Courting death. The black-clad Arhat raised his eyebrows. They were like two sharp swords that instantly gleamed with sharpness. The Buddhist staff in Xiao Chen's hand swept out, giving off a large Buddhist light. The instant it came into contact with the white-robed old man, it sent him flying. This Arhat was merely an early-stage major primal core cultivator, yet he killed the Ice Snow Mountain Manor's first elder without being able to retaliate. Xiao Chen's heart had already started pounding in that instant. The dragon blood soul-breaking finger was already in his hand, ready to be unleashed. The two of them started fighting again, giving Xiao Chen the perfect opportunity to quickly leave. The fish dragon art flashed and arrived beside Xiao Suo. Flawless saber technique, falling moon stance. A silhouette streaked across the sky, the moon falling from the sky. With a flash of saber light, a bright moon fell to the ground, forcing Feng Buyu and the others to retreat once again. Are you alright? Xiao Chen glanced at Xiao Suo and asked in a deep voice. Xiao Suo gritted his teeth. I can hold on. Don't worry. Let's go. It's time to retreat and return to the Pirate Alliance. This was a rare opportunity. If Xiao Chen did not retreat now, he would not be able to leave after a while. You bald donkey. You are indeed here to protect Xiao Chen. Seeing Xiao Chen and Xiao Suo's group quickly leave the battlefield, the Ice Snow Mountain Manor's white-robed old man raged and charged at the black-clad Arhat again. How stubborn. The black-clad Arhat was proud and arrogant, not bothering to explain. When he saw this white-robed old man charging over endlessly, he became truly enraged. Buddhist magic skill, rage of the world. The white-robed old man roared, and the formless Buddha image behind him suddenly materialized, turning into a huge Buddha that looked like the Gautama Buddha. However, this Gautama Buddha did not have any auspicious aura at all. Instead, it radiated a startling killing chi and gave off a black light that filled the sky. The black-clad Arhat raised his Buddhist staff with both hands and ferociously smashed it down. Immediately, the mountains and rivers trembled, and all things prostrated. An overwhelming Buddhist might descended together with the Buddhist staff. The white-robed old man materialized a sword, sealing everything within 5,000 kilometers in ice. However, when this Buddhist staff struck, it immediately shattered. The white-robed old man vomited a mouthful of blood and went flying back again. On the other side, when Senior Hua and the Jiao snake saw that Xiao Chen had already retreated, they both moved back, not wanting to tangle with their opponents. The white-robed old man lay on the ground in a sorry state, finding it difficult to even get up. The black-clad Arhat looked coldly at this person. Then, he raised his head and fixed his cold gaze on Xiao Chen's figure, which was already far away. The black-clad Arhat raised his leg to give chase. Stop him. He is here to protect Xiao Chen. We must kill him. Otherwise, we will lose the Scarlet Blood War banner. The white-robed old man on the ground coughed and shouted to the first elders of the Burning Moon sect and the Wind-Chasing sect. The expressions of the azure-clad old man and the red-clad old man changed at the same time. After hesitating for a moment, they charged over. Since the other party was an enemy, there was no need to hesitate. The azure-clad old man was very fast. He immediately charged over, leaving behind countless afterimages in front of the black-clad Arhat. The afterimages were like the wind, hiding sabers in the wind. Every strand of wind contained great might. Glaring guardian deity. Suddenly, a fiery light blazed in the black-clad Arhat's eyes. He looked like a guardian deity, and his skin gave off a metallic glow. When the black-clad Arhat's gaze locked on, he instantly saw the azure-clad old man's true body. He allowed the other gusts of wind to strike his body, making crisp sounds. The black-clad Arhat's heavy Buddhist staff gave off a sharp Buddhist light as it swept towards the black-clad Arhat's true body. This startled the azure-clad old man and caused him to retreat in a fluster. However, it was too late. Fortunately, the Burning Moon sect's red-clad old man charged over. His entire body burned with flames as he punched the Buddhist staff. Dang! An intense clash rang out. For the first time, the black-clad Arhat moved back. However, it was only half a step. As for the red-clad old man, he moved back 10-odd steps before he stabilized his body. His fist also felt pain. This monk is somewhat strong. The red-clad old man shouted, and the flames on his body surged up, burning fiercely and continuously illuminating the night sky. The fiery light illuminated half of Purple Sun City. The black-clad Arhat wiped off the blood at the corner of his lips. A murderous intent flashed in his eyes as he looked at the red-clad old man lunging over. The black-clad Arhat stabbed his Buddhist staff into the ground and executed the golden Arhat body, exchanging 3 punches with the red-clad old man. With each punch, a black swastika burst out of the fist light. After 3 punches, the flames on the red-clad old man's body seemed to be extinguished by cold water. He stopped and fell to the ground. Just as the black-clad Arhat displayed his might, dense footsteps rang out on the dilapidated street. Dong! 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 The experts and elite disciples of the Burning Moon sect, the Wind-Chasing sect, and the Ice-Snow Mountain Manor rushed over at this moment. Although there were no peak late-stage major primal core experts, there were many of them. The 3 sects had more than 100 minor primal core venerates. The number of half-step primal core and Yang Essence elite disciples was even more uncountable. Form the formation and protect the first elder. Kill this bald monk. Seeing the sorry states of the various sects' first elders, the sect disciples and elders immediately gave the order to surround the black-clad Arhat. The black-clad Arhat calmed down. As he looked at Xiao Chen, who had already gone far away, he trembled in anger. Then, when the black-clad Arhat saw the many primal core venerates surrounding him, he frowned heavily. No matter how strong he was not strong enough to deal with so many people at the same time. More importantly, there were still 3 late-stage major primal core old men currently recovering from their injuries, coldly eyeing the black-clad Arhat. With this, it would be difficult to leave even if I wanted to. Xiao Chen, who had already retreated to the west of the city, executed his heavenly eye. When he saw the heavily surrounded black-clad Arhat in the distance, he relaxed slightly. The black-clad Arhat's strength surpassed Xiao Chen's expectations. He was just an early-stage major primal core cultivator, yet he could kill 3 late-stage major primal core cultivators without them being able to retaliate. This strength was probably even stronger than senior Jiao snakes. Are all the experts of the Black Lotus Church this horrifying? Chapter 1606. As expected, the experts of the 3 sects surrounded the strong and horrifying black-clad Arhat. Even if that black-clad Arhat managed to escape, he would be severely injured and would not be able to chase after Xiao Chen for the time being. However, Xiao Chen could not cheer up at all. Many things weighed heavily on his mind, and his expression was complicated. Clearly, the Black Lotus Church would not send just one person to chase after him. This person should be just a member of the army chasing after him. Furthermore, this person was just an early-stage major primal core cultivator, and he was already so strong. Was the Black Lotus Church really that horrifying? How did Xiao Chen offend such a strong enemy? No wonder the Thunder King said that even if Xiao Chen left the Kunlun realm, he would still die. Why is the Black Lotus Church chasing after me? Big brother, where did your reinforcements come from? How can they be so strong? Xiao Suo asked with a smile after he relaxed and entered the western part of the city. Xiao Chen retorted indifferently, when did I say that they were my reinforcements? They were not. When Senior Lu, Fei and Luo Nan heard that, they all stopped and looked at Xiao Chen in shock. Xiao Chen revealed a bitter smile. Could it be that these people also thought that they were his reinforcements? Although the result was unfortunate, Xiao Chen still told them the truth. That black-clad Arhat was not only not his reinforcements but also his greatest enemy. Ha ha ha. Little brother Xiao Chen, you are really blessed. To think that you managed to escape even under such circumstances. When Senior Lu heard that, he was stunned for a moment before laughing loudly. Xiao Suo also sighed in amazement. This is really a coincidence. To think that these 2 groups of people actually started fighting. That monk is incredibly stupid. He is so arrogant and cannot be bothered to explain himself to these people. He even thinks that he can forcefully capture Big Brother with his own strength. Xiao Chen shook his head but could not bring himself to smile. Now that his whereabouts were exposed, things would become even more troublesome. Xiao Chen, if I did not see wrong, that monk should be one of the 72 arhats of the Black Lotus Church. How did you offend such a strong person? The Jiao snake asked Xiao Chen, feeling somewhat doubtful. Unable to explain too much, Xiao Chen could only try his best to give a general idea. I also have my doubts about the specific reason. Perhaps we can only capture a member of the Black Lotus Church's upper echelon and interrogate him. Senior Lu smiled embarrassedly and said, that will be somewhat difficult. The black-clad arhat that appeared earlier is merely one of the 72 arhats of the Black Lotus Church. Above Arhat, the Black Lotus Church still has the 4 great guardian deities and the mysterious Black Lotus Church's sect venerate. You have to capture at least one of the 4 protectors before you can find out the reason. However, any one of the protectors is a Cloud Sea expert. Xiao Chen frowned and said, I do not have such thoughts for now, either. Right now, I just want to strengthen myself quickly. Senior Lu seems to understand the Black Lotus Church very well. Senior Lu nodded slightly and replied softly, I understand a little. This Black Lotus Church had a great origin many years ago. At its peak, it was said to be a rank 7 sect, an existence comparable to the 3 holy lands of the Buddhist sections. It's just that it slowly declined and was suppressed by Buddhism, which is why it's like this now. Although it is now a rank 3 sect, the strength of the Black Lotus Church is no weaker than that of a regular rank 4 sect. Regular rank 3 sects are not strong enough before the Black Lotus Church. This is also why that black-clad arhat is so strong. Sects were divided into 7 ranks, from lowest to highest, from rank 1 to rank 7. Rank 7 sects were considered peak existences. Xiao Chen had not expected this Black Lotus Church to have been a rank 7 sect a long time ago. The black-clad arhat could be so strong mainly because of the accumulations of the sect. The cultivation techniques and martial techniques that he cultivated were much stronger than those of the elders of rank 2 sections. At the same cultivation level, a primal core venerate of a rank 1 sect would definitely be much weaker than a primal core venerate of a rank 2 or 3 sect. This sect is too mysterious. Even if I speak for 3 days, I will not be able to finish. Now that your whereabouts are exposed, you need to leave Purple Sun City quickly, Senior Lu said with a grave expression. Xiao Chen nodded and said, I know. I'll go to the Pirate Alliance first, then. The Pirate Alliance was a neutral land. As long as Xiao Chen entered, the 3 sects would not dare to charge in. However, if Xiao Chen left, the Pirate Alliance would not care. However, it would be enough for Xiao Chen to rest. Clearly, the matter of Idle Cloud Restaurant had already spread to the western part of the city. Along the way, several people looked at Xiao Chen with shock and some malicious gazes. They all knew that the Scarlet Blood War banner was in Xiao Chen's hands. However, they also knew that Xiao Chen's means were startling, so they did not dare to act rashly. After entering the pirate hall without any mishaps, Xiao Chen went to Senior Gui's room. Without saying anything, he handed over the Heavenly Yang Pill's alchemic recipe. After Senior Lu obtained the alchemic recipe, he was pleasantly surprised. His excitement could not be expressed in words. After asking around, Xiao Chen learned that Senior Lu had been unable to make any breakthroughs in alchemy. In the past 10 years, Senior Lu had been searching for all sorts of forbidden medicines to temper his alchemy skills. Furthermore, he was quite fond of forbidden drugs, and had a special interest in them. Hence, when Senior Lu learned that Xiao Chen had the Heavenly Yang Pill, he was startled and readily agreed to Xiao Chen's conditions. Good. It is indeed the Heavenly Yang Pill. This alchemic recipe has been lost for who knows how many years. Unexpectedly, it can see the light of day again. Senior Lu looked at Xiao Chen and said, I'll accept this alchemic recipe. I'll help you refine the Heavenly Yang Pill as well. At the same time, I can temper my alchemy skills. Xiao Chen rejoiced when he heard that. With Senior Lu helping him refine the Heavenly Yang pill, his chances of success would increase significantly. This is the source tracing pill. Give it to your friend. It is not considered precious. However, some of the ingredients are extremely rare. You can only use it once in your life. Be careful. Senior Lu took out a jade bottle and handed it to Xiao Chen. Fei Er and Luo Nan immediately revealed joyful smiles. Xiao Chen smiled and said, "Take it, Fei Er." "Thank you, big brother Xiao Chen." "Thank you, Senior Lu." "Thank you, Xiao Suo." Fei Er could not contain her joy. Her baby fat face filled with smiles. Xiao Suo rubbed his head and smiled embarrassedly. "Why are you thanking me? I did not do anything." This was the first time a girl thanked him so politely, so he felt somewhat embarrassed. Fei Er covered her mouth and smiled. "I have to thank you. You were the one who shielded me and senior brother earlier. Otherwise, how could I have survived until now?" Luo Nan's hand trembled as he held the jade bottle containing the medicinal pill. For the sake of this medicinal pill, Xiao Chen paid a rather high price. Luo Nan looked at Xiao Chen, not knowing how to express himself. "Big brother Xiao Chen smiled and interrupted, "There is no need to say some things. Fei Er, bring Luo Nan to consume the medicinal pill. The earlier he consumes it, the better the effects." Fei Er nodded and helped Luo Nan down. "Xiao Chen, I'm going to refine the Heavenly Yang pill. I'll take my leave first." Xiao Chen nodded and sent Luo Nan off with his eyes. Then, he found a quiet room with Senior Gue and entered closed-door cultivation. After the consecutive battles at Idle Cloud Restaurant, Xiao Chen was severely injured and gained a lot. This battle was also the most intense one since he left the Kunlun realm. It could be considered the beginning, but it was definitely not the last battle. Some of his shortcomings in battle were also revealed. Of course, his cultivation was his biggest shortcoming. If he didn't have those heaven-defying trump cards, he wouldn't be able to win. Without those heaven-defying trump cards, Xiao Chen would not be able to hold his own against an early-stage major primal core expert. However, trump cards were called trump cards because they could not be used frequently. Xiao Chen could not rush his cultivation for now. When Senior Lu refined the Heavenly Yang pill, he could break through to the Yang essence stage. With the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy and the Heavenly Yang pill, Xiao Chen could establish a very firm foundation in the veritable personage realm. At that time, he would condense a primal core and shock the world with a single move, far surpassing that of a regular primal core venerate. Right now, Xiao Chen's top priority was to consolidate his Dao realm and comprehend the new fish dragon art. Consolidating these two would greatly improve his current combat prowess. In the boundless starry heavens, a white-clad monk held Buddhist prayer beads and stood on a lotus platform, walking in the starry heavens with his eyes closed. Suddenly, this monk opened his eyes. A holy Buddhist light flashed in his eyes, illuminating the pitch-black night sky. Have you discovered it already? Purple Sun City in the Purple Sun region? I think I'm the closest. The white-clad monk entered deep thought. After a while, a Buddhist light released from the lotus platform, forming a long belt of light. The lotus platform moved at an incredible speed through the starry heavens on the belt of light, rushing towards Purple Sun City. Chapter 1607. In the dilapidated street where Idle Cloud Restaurant was in Purple Sun City, the 50-kilometer-long street was in ruins. The shops and tall buildings along the way had all collapsed. Blood flowed like rivers on the ground, and corpses piled up. A heavy stench of blood lingered in the air. G.A. 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 Many red-eyed vultures circled the city under the night sky, spreading their wings and crying out strangely. They stared at the corpses below, continuously circling, raring to go. The vultures outside the city actually smelled the stench of blood and flew in. This was the first time such a thing happened in Purple Sun City. One could easily imagine how many people had died on the street. Many of the corpses had terrifying saber wounds on them. The hazy saber intent still lingered. However, even more corpses were torn into pieces, a cruel sight to behold. They had been violently blasted until not even bones remained. Formless wisps of broken souls struggled in pain, unable to dissipate. The black-clad Arhat, who was previously unrivaled and swept through the three first elders, knelt on the ground in humiliation as he was being escorted. Most of the corpses on the ground were his. For the sake of killing the black-clad Arhat, the disciples of the three great sects and the purple cloud pavilion formed a formation and surrounded him, suppressing him heavily. However, he still killed most of them in the end, leaving the street littered with corpses. Who asked you to be arrogant? The surviving cultivators of the purple cloud pavilion and the other sects continuously whipped the black-clad Arhat kneeling on the ground. The black-clad Arhat did not say anything. He only closed his eyes and allowed the whipping to land on his body. Earlier, all of them had fought with all their might. Among the people who died were their friends or fellow disciples. Naturally, their hatred for the black-clad Arhat was incredibly intense. The first elders of the three great sects and the purple cloud pavilion's anti-by let these people do as they pleased. What should we do with this bald monk now? Should we kill him or keep him? The Ice Snow Mountain Manor's white-robed old man asked as a faint murderous intent flashed in his eyes. The Burning Moon sect's red-clad old man replied coldly, just kill him. Keeping him alive will only bring trouble. We should keep him alive first. Perhaps he will be of some use to Xiao Chen. He definitely did not expect this bald monk to end up in our hands. Isn't he very loyal? Let's detain this bald monk and bring him to the Purple Cloud Pavilion to auction. Given his temper, he will definitely rush over. The wind-chasing sect's azure-clad old man thought of a solution. Antibai nodded and said, that's a good idea. We'll auction him off as a slave the day after tomorrow. If Xiao Chen hides, it'll be troublesome for us to look for him. Let him come by himself, and we'll set up an ambush in the dark. Antibai also had her own plans. Auctioning off a major primal core venerate as a slave would be of great help to the Purple Cloud Pavilion's reputation. A cold smile flashed across the white-robed old man's face. That's right. Let's do that. This bald donkey has killed so many of our people, so he should at least have some value to us. Otherwise, it would be too easy on him. While they were discussing, they didn't know that the black-robed Arhat who was kneeling on the ground had a sneer on his face, as if he had heard something extremely funny. All right, it's settled then. We'll imprison this bald monk now and auction him off the day after tomorrow. When Lan Luo saw this scene from afar, she could not help but shake her head. Young miss, that is the black-clad Arhat of the Black Lotus Church. This group of people is really seeking death. To think that they dare to auction off a black-clad Arhat of the Black Lotus Church, should we advise anti-buy? When the mysterious guard hidden in the dark saw this, he laughed hoarsely, feeling speechless. A cold light flashed in Lan Luo's eyes. She said indifferently, there's no need. I already see through her. If she wants to seek death, let her be. Previously, when Feng Buyu sought out anti-buy, she immediately sold out Xiao Chen. This had flabbergasted Lan Luo, rendering her speechless. Lan Luo had already advised anti-buy many times, but it was useless. Instead, she reprimanded anti-buy for not understanding business and not having sufficient experience. Now, I finally understand why the clan gave up on this place. They are just a group of people chasing their own interests, completely forgetting the existence of the clan. Heavy disappointment flashed in Lan Luo's eyes. And you said softly, that Xiao Chen actually managed to form a relationship with the Black Lotus Church. He is truly incredible. No matter how I look at him, he seems like an outstanding talent with a great desolate Ian bloodline. However, I just can't tell. Lan Luo was not surprised. Aside from the strongest 100 races, the great desolate Ian bloodline still has some secondary bloodlines. Back then, during the Great Desolate Aeon, when the 10,000 races fought, not all went extinct. Some bloodlines have been passed down, but they are not as famous as the Great Desolate Aeon's 100 races. No wonder. And you nodded gently. So, that was the case. However, the two were mistaken. Xiao Chen's bloodline was one of the strongest 100 races of the Great Desolate Aeon. However, the Blue Dragon bloodline had been extinct for too long, so most people did not have any impression of it. When the sky was about to brighten, Xiao Chen came out of closed-door cultivation and saw Senior Gui, who had just returned from a busy day. When Senior Gui saw Xiao Chen, he was stunned. The other party had a strange Dao on him. The strong aura dazzled Senior Gui. What the heck is this? The legendary Dao. This was especially so for Xiao Chen's eyes. They were bright and untainted, like gems in the starry sky, filled with charm and boundlessly deep. With just one glance, one would feel like they were about to sink in. Xiao Chen's comprehension of the Saber Great Dao had completely stabilized his Saber Great Dao's second realm. This gave off an extraordinary feeling. After one night of closed-door cultivation, Xiao Chen thoroughly absorbed the comprehensions from the battle at Idle Cloud Restaurant, stabilizing his hard-earned second realm of the Great Dao and the new Fish Dragon art movement technique. This could be considered a complete rebirth. However, Xiao Chen knew that this was far from enough. He still needed to raise his cultivation. Only then could he truly fight against a major primal core venerate without using his trump cards. Of course, fighting with a late-stage major primal core expert was still a long way off. Senior Gui, has Senior Lu come out of closed-door cultivation? Xiao Chen asked with a relaxed expression. Senior Gui recovered his wits. Then, he said with a strange expression, I'm not sure. Several explosions came from his side last night. I went over to take a look, but he did not let me in. I wonder what happened in there. Failed? This was within reason and not surprising. Refining medicinal pills was not guaranteed in the first place. Furthermore, this was the Heavenly Yang pill, a forbidden medicine that had been lost for many years. I'll go and take a look. Right now, Xiao Chen could not come to a final conclusion. So, he calmed his emotions and headed for the refining room where Senior Lu was. Go on, then. The modification of that pirate ship is at the final stage. I cannot delay for too long either. Senior Gui had a strong sense of responsibility. After receiving Xiao Chen's spirit jades, he had been working hard. When Xiao Chen arrived at Senior Lu's refining room, he smelled a burning stench coming from a crack in the door before he even entered. Little brother Xiao Chen, you are here. Come in quickly. Senior Lu's excited voice came from inside. When Xiao Chen pushed the door open and entered, he saw that the place was a mess. All the tools were shattered, and berserk baleful yang energy spread in the air. Dust filled the room. Xiao Chen fanned himself with his hand and saw that Senior Lu was in tatters, his hair charred, and his face covered in wounds. Xiao Chen felt slightly stunned before asking, the furnace exploded. Senior Lu showed a somewhat embarrassed expression as he nodded. It exploded 3 times, and you saw the results. Furnace explosions were something that only low-ranked alchemists would do. When the pill flame was not properly controlled, it would detonate the pill furnace. This was commonly known as a furnace explosion. There would definitely be failures when refining alchemy. However, a skilled alchemist would not cause a furnace explosion. Furthermore, after a furnace explosion, the destruction and danger that resulted were uncontrollable. When Xiao Chen saw the situation, he knew what happened. However, he had not expected that the furnace would explode 3 times in one night. Senior Lu, there is no need for you to work so hard. Are you alright? Xiao Chen found this incredibly strange. This was truly too much of a risk. Senior Lu did not care about his life at all. However, Senior Lu laughed loudly, not caring at all. He pulled Xiao Chen forward somewhat excitedly and said, I'm fine. I feel like I'm about to break through my bottleneck. Your Heavenly Yang pill is done. Look. Xiao Chen looked in the direction of Senior Lu's finger and saw a bright white medicinal pill in an incomplete brocade box in the corner. Perfect flame patterns covered the surface of the medicinal pill, flickering with a glassy golden light. Occasionally, a strong light flickered. The piercing light nearly deterred Xiao Chen from looking directly at it. Xiao Chen could not help feeling excited in his heart. The heavenly yang pill really succeeded. Furthermore, it was of perfect quality. When Senior Lu saw Xiao Chen's expression, he revealed a satisfied smile. Anyone who saw their medicinal pill garnering the attention of others would feel satisfied from the bottom of their heart.